that. So we're gonna refine it, hopefully play it out,
Keeps getting better.
keep getting better, which is ultimately that's what you want. Yeah.
That's right. And what do you use as your handle on DM's Guild?
On DM's Guild, I actually don't know. It's just under my name.
Okay,
Sean
just
Howard.
Sean Howard.
Yeah.
Sean with an E, Howard with a... It's spelled on the screen, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's also on my Twitter account too. You can see there's a link on the profile.
Okay.
For Twitter.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Will?
I'm a longtime player. Haven't played in a couple of years, and my good buddy Hans here told me about this, and couldn't pass this up. So
Yeah. So Will and I have been playing together since high school. So you've been stuck with me forever.
yeah,
And then this is your first time playing 5th edition, right?
yes, it is.
And I broke with D&D after 3.5. I didn't really want to play it anymore. I didn't get really excited about Pathfinder. And so 5e for me, really good. Love it. Lots of fun. Streamlined,
it's
simple.
very
Doesn't
fun.
make you tear your hair out. And I played with Sean some, and Sean is amazing. So everybody look forward to that. And Scooter, who's off camera right now, he's like the lead guy for Time to Tabletop. And he's also the head of our local meetup. And he's, not bashful, but very busy right now.
And also, I just found out, guys, I started the recording a little late, so the beginning part, you won't get it on YouTube. Sorry about that.
Did I say anything important in the beginning part that we have to worry about?
I don't think so.
I don't know, Hans.
Okay, cool. So we are obviously winging it. If it didn't look like we were winging it, that's the entire point of this. We have no idea what we're doing. Next time will be better. And if it's not, we have an email address I think you can write to, or you can tweet at us and so forth and remind us that it didn't get better. So interact, have fun with that. Our goal tonight, we're going to be playing our character creation out. We're going to do that on stream because that's going to be really interesting to see how we roll those dice and actually have characters come out of it. If it's not interesting to you, I think it's going to be fairly interesting to us in the long term. And then we're going to get into our session 0, which is going to be a little bit weird. So I've told you guys very little about what we're planning for this game. The main story arc of this game is going to be dealing with an artifact called the Infinity Tower, which is going to be a wizard's tower. So it's a physical location that has doors it can go in and out of almost any plane of existence, any world, any realm, without having to do any sort of actual physical transportation. You don't have to take a ship or a starship or anything like that. So you can start out in one world, you can end up in a different world the next day. I'm not going to tell you much about how it works because you're not even going to see it during today's game. But that's really our driving mechanic that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to do some character creation, and then after we do that, because we don't have a full party, we're not doing introductions today and things like that, we're actually going to start in the middle of what's going to be session 1, in a very short scene, to see some gameplay and see your characters interact. Cool. Yeah, and we'll see how that actually works out on camera, right?
Yeah.
So let's get it going. So Sean, your character concept that you've come up with so far before we roll anything.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be playing a gnome gunslinger. His name is Theophraxis. His background, you want your background?
Sure.
His background is, with your typical gnome burrow, you have defenses to kind of hide the entrance, keep the entrance safe. And he was in charge of maintaining and constructing those defenses. Something bad happened, something went wrong. And as part of his background, he feels that he needs to work diligently to pay back for his mistake and sort of make up for the lives that were lost because his precious defenses failed.
Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit because you've got a couple really interesting character concept things going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing a gnome. People can find that in the player's handbook. But then the gunslinger that you want to play, this is a fighter martial archetype that was created by Matt Mercer from Critical Role.
Yep.
And if you guys don't know who he is, we have Google nowadays, so go look him up. But also, you can just find him on the DM's Guild, and you can get the Gunslinger martial archetype. It's really cool. It's one of the better written things I've seen on the DM's Guild in terms of balance.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it's also really fun. So you're going to start as a first level player.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be able to take that archetype till 3rd level.
That is correct.
So it's something you're looking forward to and you're going to be working at. But at first, we may have some fun misadventure here.
Yeah, and I figure one of the things he's going to be doing is working his way up to sort of figuring out what this thing is, because I think one of the things that would have happened is when he escaped the burrow, he grabbed some stuff, not necessarily knowing exactly what all of it was.
Okay.
And so part of that is going to be him kind of learning what it is, how to use it, I figured that would be sort of the excuse for not being able to actually get that proficiency in firearms until 3rd level.
Okay, cool. And then the Gnomish Burrow Defender background that we're using, that comes out of your Epic Gnomish Guide to Invention. Did I
Yep.
say that right?
Yep, the Epic Gnomish Guide. Epic Gnomish Inventing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Okay, so Will, what have you got so far as a character concept?
I am, for the first time ever, going to play a cleric and I'm going to go ahead and play a classical cleric of the life domain, so I'm going to be a walking Band-Aid box.
Okay, and if you have not played 5th edition, it's not all heals all the time. You don't have to just do that. But I mean, there is a lot of power in a cleric. I think it's personally one of the more like powerful and interesting classes. There's a lot of stuff you got to figure out to play a cleric, but I think it's a great way to stretch yourself, and I think clerics are super cool.
Yeah.
So have you thought about background? Do you want to do that?
The character is going to be a former soldier. His full title is Corporal Arvin Bly. He was a medic in, and I'll leave it up to you to decide, either in a professional army or in a mercenary band. And he was just a normal person doing his job, and both his company and another company, he was in battle, and as he was tending the wounded, he and his unit of medics, perhaps, they were completely crushed by an unexpected cavalry charge, and as he lay there dying, he felt the warmth and the love and the light of Pelor, god of the sun, and realized that it was his duty to answer to whatever Pelor wanted him to do, and defend the weak.
Okay.
And that's all I've come up with so far.
That's great. I think that's a great start.
And that's an aspect of Theophraxis too. Part of the whole defending the burrow is defending other people. So one of his driving forces is this desire to defend people.
You guys are going to make a good team. This is going to go well. I think one of the coolest things about 5th edition is the use of background, so that you have some statistical reason to come up with something interesting for your character. But you also, you get some choices. They build some of that stuff out for you. There are a lot of games that I really love, but when you come up with an idea of a background, it can feel like you've got so much work to do just to make your character interesting or exciting. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool that you've got something where you've got the roleplay aspect, plus you get some mechanical benefit from it. So, love 5th edition. All right, so we are rolling stats to start off with. You guys already have names, and you have all the really important stuff, right? So, if you know what your character's going to be, we've got our sheets. Sean's got his sheet. We're good here. So,
But that was bad.
we're going to go with the standard roll, like it says in the DMG, and I think it's the most exciting and dangerous way of building characters. Now, Will, you said your character is going to be a human, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
We're
So-
doing roll 4?
That's right. We're going to roll 4, keep 3. So we've already got the race in the class. We're going through the DMG. This is like page 12 now for PHB. And so now we would be getting into determining ability scores. So we've got 6 abilities in the game. The way that they recommend you do it, if you're going through the book, is that you roll 4 dice, 4d6 for the attributes, and then you put them wherever you want. So you're going to roll 6 attribute scores, place them where you like them.
All right.
All right, I'm going to let you guys do it. If you want to announce what you roll, I mean, for better or worse, that's up to you.
Oh my god.
That's not that bad.
That's not bad. 13's good. I like
13's good, yeah.
Yeah, no, 13. No,
Right.
I was worried about ones, man.
There you go. Yeah, ones can happen.
I rolled
That's-
12, and this is going to be my highest roll of the evening.
You say that now. We're just going to see.
I'm doing pretty good so far. Come on, baby.
Okay. You did that to yourself. You just said it to yourself. I mean, I don't know how
Hans,
else you're going to say
in
that.
all the time we have been playing, when have I not made hideous die rolls?
All right.
We're going to wait and see how funny this is before we try to redo this. Because honestly, at some point people are going to see these rolls or hear about these rolls, and I don't really know if they want to see you guys,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
criminally empowered.
Okay, there we go.
Did you just roll an 18?
I just rolled an 18.
Did that just make it up for you?
Dang.
I mean, can you play the guy with one arm if he can be really,
That's
really
fine.
strong?
That's fine.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. Wow.
So how'd it go for you?
Well, not bad. I got a 13, a 13, a 13, a 14, a 9, and a 7.
Right.
That
So
7 hurts.
that's a little tough. I mean, that is lower in average than you would see, like with the basic spread they give you.
7, man.
So let's find out how Will did here.
I have a 12, an 8, a 9, an 18, 13, and 12.
Okay. So how are you guys feeling about the rolling approach? Does this sound like something we should keep going with, or do you feel like you've had enough rolling and you want to go to just like a 0.5?
We could try it again, but I am super average except for 18, and Sean, you did not fare too
I'm
well.
a little higher. Yeah, I mean like a little bit better. But you know what? If I spread these points out,
Yeah, you do get some attribute bonuses.
you get some attribute bonuses. So he may not be as smart as I wanted him to be.
Yeah, and that's kind of important for what you're planning, right?
Yeah, but I could take the hit. Maybe. God, 7 though. That's rough.
Okay. So what do you guys think? Should we try it one more time like this? One more set of rolls? No mixing and
I'm
matching.
cool.
You go for one
No
set, you
mixing
go for
and
another
matching,
set.
no.
I'm
No
cool
mixing
with
and matching,
whatever.
that's cheating.
Well, we could do another set
Uh-huh.
and then pick the one that we like best.
I'm fine with that. As long as we don't like take some of the dice from this one and some of the dice from that one.
No,
that
yeah.
wouldn't be any fun.
That'd be
right?
awesome.
It would be awesome. You guys would love that. Okay, let's try it one more time.
One more time. Okay. Let's
I
not
honestly
waste
have
their
never
time.
had this go with a gaming group where at least one person didn't roll twice.
All right. That's 12.
Get somebody from the stream would blow on your die.
Yeah, really. Okay, ooh, that's nice. 17.
Yeah.
Holy man.
Holy.
Okay, so you guys are much happier this time, it sounds
14. Well, shh.
Oh my God.
Why would you say that?
like. Scooter, do you let people roll when they make characters? No? I think this is why. It's either really bad or really good. Oh, man.
Wow. Okay. That's.
Oh,
I can live with that.
Well,
Oh,
you know
Lord.
what? You
Ow.
want that.
that's all right. That's all right.
Wow. That's 6, right?
Not
1, 2,
too
3,
bad,
4,
not
5.
too
Yeah, I got 6. All right.
I'm
That's second.
totally keeping this.
You know, the best thing about playing a human is you get a 1 bonus to everything when you start out.
Wow.
Versus anything that's rounded or anything like that. I really don't think humans should start with a bonus feat. I really feel like that's game unbalancing since no one else can get a feat till 4th level. But you get to add a 1 to all of your stats.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay, Sean, what'd you get this time?
Much better this time. Looks like a 12, a 17, a 14, an 11, a 16, and a 15.
Wow, okay, so you can be pretty
That's
happy
some
about that.
pretty.
right?
Yeah,
That's better than you could do with a standard point array.
I am happy.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
I am happy.
All right. Okay, well, how'd you do?
I rolled a 14, a 17, a 15, a 12, an 8, and a 15.
So
I'm
you're
keeping
going to
this.
keep that, yeah. So we've got 2 other players who are going to join us at some other point here, Kat and Katie. And so when they join us, they're going to get the same benefit. They'll get to roll twice, choose
Yeah.
the one they like. Okay,
That's
very
pretty
good.
awesome.
So if we're going through the PHP, the next part we've got to do is put these stats where you guys like them.
Right. So think
Yeah.
So okay. So question then.
Yeah.
So for the tinkering, it's
Right.
going to go off of intelligence.
It
Or
would
can go
look
off of
like-
wisdom.
Well, I mean, it looks like most things, according to tinkering, are going to go off of intelligence, right?
Okay.
Now, when you build some of these, some of your rules for tinkering, I've got to check the phone for that, to be honest, because I'm keeping the document there. That's mostly going off of intelligence or going off of wisdom?
Yeah, all of the so for my rules, we're going to follow the rules I put together for
Right,
the
right.
guide. Yeah, they were mostly yeah, you're right. They're mostly intelligence and wisdom. There were some wisdoms.
Yeah.
Wisdom when you needed to try to figure out something that you didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a gadget that I have no idea what it's all about, so I got to figure it out. It's more of a sort of a guessing, using your intuition kind of thing.
Sure. Personally, to me, I think intelligence makes a lot of sense. And then we were talking about like the use of the history skill and things like that, and that's intelligence based.
That's a good point. Yeah,
And then you're a gnome, so you're going to get an intelligence bump.
+2.
So those are all nice things.
All right. So let's. But I'm a fighter too. That's the thing.
Yeah, right. And you're going to be mostly a dex-based fighter, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it'd have to be. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right.
Okay.
So let's go from there.
So, Will, how about for you? You're playing a cleric, so
Mhm.
what's your highest score that you're thinking of?
I already dumped the 17 into the wisdom
Okay.
and added the bonus, so I'm already at 18.
That's pretty amazing
Wisdom.
for first level. Gotta like
Yeah,
that.
my God.
And then what did you back up on? What was your next most important stat to you?
Well, I had 2 15s to go with, so I went ahead and put the 15s into strength and constitution, so
Very
they're
nice.
now 16.
Yeah.
I haven't decided where I'm going to dump the 8, but I think I'm actually going to put it into intelligence.
Okay.
And then that leaves me with a 13 in dexterity and a 15 in charisma.
Wow. Well, I mean, you don't have to be balanced in everything. The intelligence being low, that's going to be dealing with like knowledge and learning. Maybe your character is of a simpler background. Maybe he's a little bit more down to earth.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking with the soldier. He's never spent much time in a temple or anything like that. And this whole thing about why he became a cleric, he's just going with what he feels.
More like a life experience.
Yeah.
A lot of study. That's great.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
All right.
Okay, so do you guys know your modifiers based on your your stats? So if we've got a stat that's like in the 10 to 11 range, that's a 0. Will, you had a 9, right? Is it an 8?
Yeah, that's going to be
It's a minus 1, right. And then 12 to 13 is a 1, 14 to 15 is a 2, 16 to 17 is a 3, and 18 or 19 is a 4. Did you mention getting a 19 out of there, Sean, or anything like that?
No, I actually took
17s? Okay.
a couple 17s. I put the 15 into the intelligence.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
well-rounded and-
pretty crazy.
Yeah. So that
Much
turned
better
out
than
pretty
my
well
other
for
character.
you. Right. Wow.
The,
Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, so we're going to get into our racial benefits. Are you going to put all your gnome stuff together here?
yeah.
So, and then Will, we've got to get together your human stuff.
All right.
So I'm going to kind of talk over Sean, since Sean's got his own PHP. And for you being a human, like we talked about, you get a +1 to all of your attributes.
Okay.
Alignment, stuff like that. There's no real suggestions here for humans, so you can play them as you want them. The speed there in the middle and the top is 30, so you
Okay.
can go 30 feet per round without any sort of penalty or using anything extra. And then languages, you start with common and another language.
Okay.
So on the lower left is where I usually put languages.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's a good place to put things like that. So you've got common, and then what do you want to take as a second language?
How about Orcish?
Orcish. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like maybe the company that I was with, there were like a lot of half orcs or something,
Okay.
and they taught me their language.
All right. Interesting. I'm sure you'll get a chance to use that someday.
Awesome.
Okay, and that's it for humans. Humans have very few racial traits you have to write down, so they're the easy ones. Sean, you got all your gnome stuff. You're playing a rock gnome or
Yep,
a
rock
forest gnome? Yeah,
rock
okay.
gnome.
Rock gnome made sense with the tinkering.
And I get the artificer's lore and the tinkering thing where I can make a clockwork toy or a fire starter or a music box.
Right, so your bonuses are intelligence, constitution from that.
Mhm.
You've got the artificer's lore, which allows you to make checks regarding magical items, technological devices, and you get to double your proficiency bonus like you're a rogue. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tinker, yep, so you can create small clockwork objects. Now, with your rules that you made for inventing, it's kind of a supplement to that, right? It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
replace those
Actually, yeah. In the
rules.
guide, it explicitly calls out that the tinkering rules in that guide are in addition to this. They don't affect these specific rules.
Right,
Yeah.
very cool.
This is sort of a racial specialty versus
Right.
the other one, which is general.
Right. Okay, and you've got your base speed's 25. You're a little slower than a human.
Used to.
Size is small, so that's part of it. You've got dark vision, which everybody likes. And then you've got the gnome cunning, where you get the advantage on intelligence, wisdom, charisma, saving throws against magic.
Yeah.
And you've got your languages as common and gnomish, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we're all set there. So we're into class stuff. So, okay, alphabetically, cleric comes up first, Will.
Okay.
So your proficiency bonus at level 1 is always a +2.
Okay.
So over here, let's see, on this sheet, where is it at the top? Yeah, on the top on the left, it's got the proficiency bonus. You just write a +2 there.
All right.
When you have skills, that's where you're going to be able to put that bonus, if you are skilled in those skills.
Okay.
That sounds as clear as anything, right? Okay. Cleric features, spellcasting, divine domain. On the bottom right is where I usually stick stuff like that, that big box.
The features and traits.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So you've got spellcasting. That's important being a cleric. And then your divine domain you've already picked is going to be life, correct?
Life.
That's awesome. Okay, and then while Will's writing, I'm going to scoot around here a little bit. Okay, so Sean, you know what your proficiency bonus is. It's +2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then we've got a fighting style and second wind. So fighting style, are you going to be picking archery? So you do range attack bonuses, or did you have something else in mind?
Well, here's the thing. I realize that there's a firearms proficiency, so I'm assuming that
Mhm.
that because it's a separate proficiency, that would not apply to the firearms.
Well, so it's totally different because firearms would be just a proficiency, like bow or any other sort of weapon.
Okay.
But the archery fighting style is a specific +2 bonus to attacking with a ranged weapon.
Right.
So that would apply to any ranged weapon.
including firearms.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Definitely.
Then I will take that.
Okay,
Because
so
my
if-
backup on that was going to be the defense, but
Yeah, that would also be cool.
Yeah.
Whichever one you prefer.
No, I will take the archery.
Okay, so you're gonna take fighting style archery, and then you've got the second wind as a fighter, which means you get to regain 1d10 plus 1 because 1 is your level hit points, and you can use that after you've taken or once per rest, short or long. I love that with fighters. Okay, well,
Second one's a good thing.
yeah, you want to write down some more proficiencies in the lower left there.
Sure.
You get light armor, medium armor, shields. I usually put them where I put the languages personally.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm always telling you what to do.
Do it, man.
Now, the other thing is,
Mess
being
me
a
up.
life domain cleric, you also get heavy armor. So you can use all kinds of armor and shields. But you only get simple weapons. And Sean, of course, being a fighter, you get all the armor, shields, simple weapons, martial weapons.
Everything.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we'll get simple weapons, saving throws that you're proficient in. For you, Will, that is wisdom and charisma.
Okay.
So those are the saving throws that you get to use your proficiency bonus to be better at.
Okay, so that's the +2 plus the ability.
That's
bump up?
right. And you know how they have those little check boxes? It's usually easiest at the stage just to check them, and then you
Okay.
can always
Yeah,
sum
so
up your math later on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Sean's are strength and constitution.
Yeah.
You already got that set.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, it's like you've done this before. So Sean, you get 2 skills between acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, survival. Yeah, and you're doing the same thing I always do, which is you're going to your background first to find out what your skills you have, right?
Right, yeah.
So do
Because
you
I
wanna-
hate having to set it and then reset
Right.
it. And
So this is a background that you've built yourself
Yeah.
called the Burrow Defender. Do you want to tell people about it?
I can just read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually finished writing this up this morning, so it's maybe a little rough. Basically, what it says, what I've written is, gnome burrows are a complex collection of chambers, connecting tunnels, and escape routes that wind their way under hills and mountains. Clever construction and simple illusions are used to obfuscate the entrances to these living spaces, helping to ensure the safety of everyone inside. Both magical and mundane defenses are also installed just in case malicious intruders see through that trickery. You are responsible for the non-magical aspect of these defenses. I agree with that. Either all by yourself or as part of a team. While you are practiced at constructing gadgets for both trickery and defense, you are particularly adept at one of these. You had your traditions that you have kept. Skip there. You had your favorite designs, of course, the tried and true traditions that have kept the burrow safe for generations. You're also an innovator, always eager to deploy something different. And
Cool.
so the background, yeah.
Okay, so proficiencies
So-
you're going to get.
So with that, what I had, so you get athletics, and then your choice, which is why I have to rewrite it a little bit here.
Right.
It's your choice of either Arcana or History, and I'll be taking History. So right
Because
off
you're
the bat,
dealing with the non-magical
because I'm
defenses.
dealing with the non-magical defenses,
Okay,
correct?
cool. And Will, your soldier background is going to give you the athletics and intimidation skills as
Okay.
proficiencies. Okay. And then Sean, how about tool proficiencies?
It's going to be Tinker Tools,
Okay.
which I already got because I was a gnome.
Yep.
And then one artisan tool of my choice, which I haven't actually thought about yet.
Okay, so you're going to give that some thought.
Yeah.
And then Will, you get 2 tool proficiencies. You get 1 type of gaming set.
Okay.
So if you were to be gaming with the rest of your platoon or your barracks, what would you be playing as a game?
We are playing dice.
Dice.
Yeah.
Everybody around here is a fan of dice. Okay,
I found
so
some really good dice games online.
yeah, there you go, awesome. So that means that you get a chance to add your proficiency bonus if you're playing a dice game, which I'm guessing you would be using to fix that dice game or somehow otherwise win it when it doesn't seem like you should.
Mhm.
And then your second tool proficiency you get is in land vehicles.
Okay.
So if you have to drive a cart, you're going to be better at it.
Awesome.
You alchemist supplies.
Alchemist supplies, okay, that's pretty cool. That seems like a good choice.
Yeah, I know. That way I can make things that blow up.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking you were going there.
Okay,
Okay,
so a lot
Will,
of boom boom.
yeah. Will, you get 8 hit points at first level, plus
Alright.
you get to add your con modifier to that. So that's what, a +3?
Yeah.
So you're going to have 11 hit points. That's pretty good for a starting character.
Language.
And then you're going to add a language?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Something interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Give
You're
some
human. What languages do you have?
Common and Orcish.
Common and Orcish. I got common and gnome. Are there giants?
thought. Are there giants?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
sure.
have
We'll find some
giants.
giants, yeah.
Giant could be fun. Now where's the book?
Okay, so while Sean's doing that, let's get you your basic skills. You get to choose 2 from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. So you have no overlap with your background, so it's just 2 of your choice.
Okay.
Now you can use any skill you want in 5th edition, but you just don't get your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So if you see something where like your modifier isn't as high as you want it to be, or maybe like intelligence being your lower skill,
Okay.
pardon me, attribute, maybe you'd want to increase your religion, but you don't have to. You
Okay.
can do what you want to do.
Going with Dwarvish.
And I
Dwarvish,
automatically
okay.
get the intimidation and.
Yeah, those are from your background, so those are fixed.
Okay.
Seems to make sense.
Yeah. So if you want to write down some equipment stuff, and we'll talk about some of that as we go too.
Common clothes, worker clothes. Tinker tools.
Okay, so I'm not putting anything into religion.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you figure anything out, you're just winging it. That's great. You already said you weren't thinking about a character who's been formally studied
Right,
and practiced in religion, so that's good. What did you pick?
I picked persuasion and medicine.
Okay,
It's the medic aspect of
the
it.
medic makes sense, and then persuasion, you've already got a good charisma, so that makes sense to put some more power there. Good stuff. The insight skill, by the way, because I hear more questions about what insight is than anything else when you see people playing.
I love it.
Insight is trying to determine what somebody's motivations are.
Okay.
So it doesn't work on like an object or like a place or things like that. Insight is about understanding what somebody is trying to tell you or conceal from you and things
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
And we're going to try to keep the rules light. We're going to try not to roll unless we have to.
And
We'll
I'm
see
sorry,
how it
with all of
goes.
the skills and everything, you add your, or the ones that I'm proficient in, it's the proficiency bonus and your attribute bonus.
Correct.
Okay.
And the ones that you're not proficient in, you still get the attribute bonus.
Oh, okay.
So the nice thing is 5th edition does not punish you for not having enough skill ranks, which is nice. Now, the other thing that's really interesting, you're never going to get more skills than this unless you multi-class.
Okay.
So this is pretty much it for skills.
No pressure.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a feat where you can buy more skills, but who's really going to spend a feat on
Bards,
that?
bards in the College of Lore, they get extra skills at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, but not
They just-
clerics. Clerics are stuck forever. So we're
So are
fighters, though.
barbarians.
Yeah, pretty much everybody.
I think I'm okay with being stuck.
Yeah,
Right.
good
This
stuff.
works.
Okay, so I got history and I got athletics, which means I'm gonna take perception. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. And then I'm gonna do acrobatics. Yeah, that's gonna work.
Okay, cool. So you got your basic skills.
Yeah.
Now you're a fighter, so you've got to get your hit points in. So you're starting with 10, and then you're going to add to that your Constitution modifier.
Alright, oh yeah, what's my con?
That one, yeah? Okay, so 11. So you guys are equal in starting hit points. That's not bad there, right? Okay,
Why did I
and
hit dice
you already
with
took
that?
your fighter skills. Did we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. We've got your class abilities. We're going to go into equipment. Okay, Will, you get to start with the following equipment. You can have either a mace or a warhammer if you are proficient. You are not proficient in warhammer. You get no warhammer.
Oh.
Okay, Sean, you get chainmail or leather longbow and 20 arrows. So leather meaning leather armor.
Yeah, leather and the longbow.
Leather and longbow.
Well,
No, it's 50-50, right?
oh man.
Okay, Will, do you want scale mail, leather armor, or chainmail?
Check.
That is the heavy armor, so I can see you taking that.
Yeah, the problem with the chain is they disadvantage on stealth.
Yes. Yeah, so Will, for you, chainmail is going to give you a base AC of 16.
Okay.
So do you have a dex bonus?
I have 1.
Okay, so you have a 17 armor class up there at the top.
Dang.
It would be higher if you were carrying a shield. What is your strength?
My strength is 16.
Yeah, so you can easily handle chainmail. You can handle any armor. If you were making a stealth check, you get disadvantage.
Okay.
Have we talked about how disadvantage works?
No.
You're going to roll the d20 skill die 2 times, or roll 2 at the same time, and you take the lowest of the 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Versus advantage, where you get to roll
Okay.
2 and take the higher.
Typically my advantage.
Everyone loves advantage. Okay, so Sean, you get to choose a martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons.
Martial weapon.
So you know that could qualify as a longbow or something like that if that's what you wanted to do, or a crossbow. Yeah, you could do a heavy crossbow.
Martial
Okay.
weapon.
Will, do you want a light crossbow and 20 bolts, or do you want any other simple weapon, which could be a bow or a sling or anything like that?
I'll take the crossbow.
All right, light crossbow. Does a D8 worth damage.
I'm gonna go with the rapier just because.
Rapier. Okay. All right, and now Sean, do you want a light crossbow and 20 bolts or 2 hand
I'm
axes?
going too fast. What now?
Light crossbow and 20 bolts or 2 hand axes?
Light crossbow.
Okay. Did you take the longbow before or did you take the chainmail?
Took the leather.
Okay.
Oh, which means I get the longbow.
You have a longbow and a crossbow. That's good.
Dang.
Good, have fun while you're at it.
Longbow, crossbow.
Will, do you want a priest's pack or an explorer's
Holy
pack?
cow.
How about an explorer's pack?
Yeah, these are general packages of stuff. Let's see what is in an explorer's pack because I never remember this.
Okay.
Explorer's pack comes with a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin. You also get 50 feet of rope.
What was the priest pack at?
Priest pack. Priest pack. You're going to get a backpack, a blanket, 10 candles, a tinderbox, an alms box, 2 blocks of incense, a censer, vestments, 2 days of rations, and a water skin.
Yeah, I ain't doing any of
No. Are you sure you don't want some incense?
that. I'm pretty sure.
Some patchouli? All right. Sean, are you going to take the Dungeoneer's pack or the Explorer's pack?
Engineer.
Dungeoneers. You get the pitons. I think that's about the only difference. Do you even get? Yeah, you get that. And a crowbar. That's kind of cool. Okay, and now Will, you get a shield and a holy symbol. So with that shield, your AC would go up 2 more.
All right.
So you're a pretty hard to hit guy for a first level.
What's yours? Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Sean,
you know what? I'll go with the Explorer's pack because my background gets me Dungeoneer's pack.
there you go. All right. Then you're gonna have 2 backpacks, a crossbow, a longbow.
I got a longbow, a crossbow, a longsword, and a rapier.
Yeah, it's good. You're really strong, right?
Well,
You can carry all that stuff.
sure.
Okay. All right, Will. The soldier background gives you an insignia of rank,
Okay.
a trophy taken from a fallen enemy,
Okay.
a set of bone dice, common clothes, and 10 gold pieces. It also gives you the feature of military rank.
Okay.
So you have a military rank. You said yours was going to be a corporal.
Yeah, I was seeing him as like corporal, not
Okay.
a major NCO or anything.
Right, so some level of infantry soldier. Now, one more thing that I should point out to you as a cleric, you have that divine domain of life. At first level, you get the ability called Disciple of Life. And it means that whenever you use a healing spell to restore hit points, they're going to gain hit points, additional hit points of 2 and the spell's level.
Nice.
So that means a first level spell from you gives somebody 3 more hit points than you roll. So that's pretty nice. You're going to be everybody's best friend.
Yes, you will. We'll keep him well fed.
That's right. Okay, now Will, if you want to get into the real challenge of playing a cleric, go ahead and go to page 2 of the spell sheet,
Okay.
because you've got all the basic stuff taken care of at this point. Okay, so right here, this is a spell sheet I'm taking, or is that an expanded background? It's maybe page 3. I think you've got a page 3.
Oh, hello.
So up at the top, you've got something that says spell save DC.
Okay.
So that's going to be what number somebody has to roll against you if they're trying to resist your spell.
Okay.
They have to roll that or better.
Okay.
So it starts as an 8, and then you add your proficiency bonus and your wisdom modifier. So your proficiency bonus is 2.
Okay.
Your wisdom bonus is 4, correct?
So
You have an
that's-
18.
Yeah.
So for you, that's a total of 14 already. That's really good for first level. That's pretty crazy. Now your spell attack modifier next to that is
Mhm.
your proficiency bonus and your wisdom modifier. So for you, that's going to be 6.
Mm-hmm.
So really good stuff.
Okay.
And we have to get you into some spells. So the way this is going to work, okay, for you being a cleric, you can prepare a number of spells that are equal to your wisdom modifier plus your cleric level. So you get 5 spells.
5
so you can
spells.
prepare.
Okay.
Now you can prepare off of the entire cleric list, but you only know a few cantrips.
Okay.
So for cantrips, you get to pick 3. And right here it says that you have 2 first level spell slots.
Okay.
So you can pick any 5 spells, but you're only going to be able to cast 2 spell slots.
Okay.
So the other thing that you should know is you should know what spells are part of your domain, because the spells that the life domain gives you, you always have prepared.
Okay.
So at first level, those are bless
Okay.
and cure wounds. So
Bless
you might as well just permanently write those on your sheet and then check them as being prepared, because you don't have to do anything to have those spells. As
Okay.
long as you get any spells, you get those spells.
Okay.
And so healing spells wise, just as like a quick word on it, cure wounds, you have to touch somebody.
Yeah.
There's a spell called Healing Word that you can use from across the room.
Okay.
So it's up to you if you feel like you need both of them, but go ahead and take a look at the spell list for first level clerics. And remember, you can pick a total of 5 spells and 3 cantrips.
3 cantrips.
And those cantrips are fixed. Those are the cantrips you're going to know. You'll get more, but they never run out, and you can use them infinitely.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the
Yeah. So, Sean, let's see. What have we not done with your character?
Need my armor class. I was just getting.
Yeah.
to
So
that.
armor class, you've got leather.
Yep.
And you've got a dex bonus.
Yeah.
So I think leather is what, 12?
Is it 12?
I believe it's 12. 11. Totally wrong. So
Alright.
11 plus your dex modifier.
Plus 3, so 14.
Okay. And
Not
Will, I
bad.
was wrong. You don't get your dex bonus for your chainmail. So your
Okay.
AC is 1 less.
No problem.
So, yep, my fault. I should have read that it doesn't have a dex modifier next to it. So we are getting pretty set here. So, yep.
In addition to what you said with the bless and cure wounds, I get 5 more than that, or is that included?
You can prepare. No, those are extra spells.
Oh,
And remember,
okay.
you can prepare a total of 5 spells.
Okay.
So yeah, take a look at the list. You don't have to think about it super hard because you only get to cast 2 spells before
Okay.
you run out.
I just didn't know if that
Yeah,
took
correct.
out.
Thank
It's
you.
5 plus those.
5
ones.
plus those. Those are your
Okay.
domain spells. Nothing touches those.
Okay.
Yeah. So you only get 5 spells because of the fact you're so wise.
Okay.
Like I always tell you.
Yep.
And then you still have to pick the 3 cantrips. So Sean, are you feeling pretty prepared at this point?
I think so. And I always forget initiative is 10 plus your dex bonus. Right?
Initiative is just your dex bonus because it's just the number you're adding to a
Oh,
d20.
right, yeah.
I like the part where you tried to add 10 to that. Though.
I know,
That
right?
was good. If you'd
I
gotten
was-
past
I'm
that,
like,
and then we could refer to the stream and say, "No, you told me."
You told it wrong. God, what's wrong with you? Passive perception is 10
That's
plus
right.
your bonus.
Passive
plus your
perception's the number people have to be better than to force you. Yeah,
That's all right.
to get past you.
3 plus,
So, Will, have you had thoughts so far on these first level spells? Have you picked any out yet?
Well, I haven't read too many of them, but I think there's a couple that have already caught my eye.
Okay.
Like the detect magic. I mean,
Sure. Now, yeah, detect magic is kind of a staple. A lot of people like to use it, so
Mhm.
that's a spell you could use. Healing Word we talked about as being something you can use for a ranged heal.
Yeah.
That can be really nice because you're not always going to be able to close with people, and
okay.
you have heavy armor, you have a melee weapon, so you can totally be out there hitting people with a weapon and then just turn and heal somebody.
Okay.
So Healing Word is nice, but
I'm
another spell you should think about for first level people really like is Guiding Bolt.
Okay.
You get to do damage, and then it also gives the next person to strike that enemy advantage.
Nice.
So it is one of the most useful first level spells in my opinion for a
Yeah.
cleric.
No problem on that.
But take a look. I'll stop interjecting all these great
No,
opinions
no,
and
no.
everything
It's.
else.
I know next to nothing about this edition, so
Hey, it's not bad. Look at this. For a first level spell, you get 4d6 damage
on Guiding Bolt.
on a Guiding Bolt as a
Holy
first level spell. And then you also give the next person to strike that attacker advantage. So it's pretty ridiculous. And if
Yeah.
you were to use it as a second level spell slot, you would get an additional d6 of damage.
Nice.
You can use a first level spell like this at whatever level you like, and it continues to escalate its damage. So even as a third or fourth level spell, this can be a power hitter. Plus, I don't think anybody ever dislikes advantage.
I'll try to finish this up.
No, it's cool. So, Sean, do you want to talk more about your background for your gnomish character here?
Yeah, so the feature that comes with is called Tunnel Master, and basically it's having spent all that time working in the tunnel, working to set up defenses in the tunnel, sort of developed sort of this intuition about the best ways to defend tunnels, identify places where there's weak construction, how
Mhm.
best to fortify things, how best to rebuild them, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool.
That's the sort of summary of that particular feature.
So, Tunnel Master.
Yeah. And then I haven't picked out I haven't done my personality traits yet, but I'm definitely going to use the bond where I'm an innocent person died because of my mistake.
Mhm.
Yada yada.
Yeah, and with this part, the bonds and the flaws and the ideals, I think these are some of the best ideas they have for getting people to start role-playing their characters and have an idea of why they do what they do. I mean, you guys are coming to the table with fairly full-fleshed character concepts, so I feel like you have a good idea of why you want to do what you want to do.
Yeah. I think I want a flaw though. Flaws are great.
Flaws are nice. Will, how you doing over there?
Doing okay.
Cool.
Okay.
It's up there.
Just got a couple more to take, and I'm good.
That would be the flaw.
So while you guys are doing that, so our concept here for the Infinity Tower is the idea that this game is going to take place where we can change our setting, we can go through some different encounters, some different scenarios, and we're not going to feel bound to just one locale. We're not going to have a single kingdom or a single set of enemies that we're really used to fighting against immediately, and I think it's going to be a really exciting idea. I'm really looking forward to this as a game concept because we're hoping that when we have additional players come in, it will give a reason for that, and it will help us keep like some momentum towards a story where there's a purpose, but it doesn't feel like you're always meeting the same people every time. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's going to be well received. Again, respond. Let us know what you think. We're really interested in what people think of this idea for the stream.
Cool.
So, Scooter, you got anything you want to mention while we're kind of finishing up here? Come on down, man.
If you are kind of watching, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Even if you're not watching live, who cares? Catch us on YouTube. I'll try and upload it as soon as I can.
Right.
No, it's going to be really fun. We're going to have some guests come on board, store owners, company, developers, all those types of things. So we're going to have a lot of guests. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is with whatever equipment we had. So we just wanted to get our faces out there and some voices out there and see what happens. So yeah, expect a lot more as stuff comes in. I mean, literally, we got our mic today. So the cameras aren't even here. So we're just doing what we can, and we're gonna have a blast. Hopefully, you join us for session 100.
Yeah.
If that ever happens.
Sure.
In other words, session 0. So keep rocking, man. You guys if you guys want to tell me anytime you guys want to take a little break or do something like that, we're ready to rock. Awesome. And just tell me when.
Yeah.
And I'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe we'll wrap in a second here for just a moment, take a bathroom break, and then come back into it. Well, how's his spells going?
Pretty well done.
If you've ever played a wizard, sorcerer, warlock, cleric, bard, ranger, everybody knows this is the hardest part. Just getting your spell list in order, and there's always that fear that you're going to forget something that you're really, really going to need, and it's definitely going to happen. I mean, you're not supposed to solve every problem on Earth, but everybody wants to. So that's part of the fun of spellcasters. Fighters, don't forget to hit stuff.
Yeah, honestly, this fighter and the barbarian I was playing in the other game are really the only two fighter types I've ever played. Usually I do one bard is my favorite one, or some kind of spellcaster. That's usually what I do.
Yeah. Well, how about for you? What do you think your normal character type has been?
Rogues. They're the best. They're the most fun. Absolutely.
Rogues are fun.
Hands down, the most fun.
So you're not planning on having fun today, is what you're saying?
No, I'm planning on having a terrible time.
Right. Well, thanks for joining us. Excellent. We needed somebody to bring it down.
How not to have a game?
Excellent. Okay, so I think this is probably a good chance to take a small break, let people hit the restroom real fast, and then we'll come back and we'll have some real gameplay. time to tabletop. We're
Yeah.
back. Of course, we're on tape delay, so we won't know for 7 seconds. But generally, we are back.
We hope.
Since we're about to go into gameplay, I did want to mention that we've got some really great support for this project going forward, so we're really excited about that. One of the people that's been supporting us is a company that does miniatures and maps called Arknight. I mean, this probably does not show up that great on the camera, but we've got a full color gridded map here on the front and on the back.
Pretty cool.
Excellent, yes. So we've got a whole set like this. They also do the flat plastic miniatures. If you guys have seen the Pathfinder pawns, for example, they're made on cardstock. They are not translucent like this. You can't see through them. These are pretty durable. They are easy to use. I'm pretty fond of them so far. So we're going to be using some of the flat plastic miniatures, some of the maps from Arknight. You guys should check them out. They do have a current Kickstarter going for flat plastic miniatures. We've got a lot of really great support too. So later at the end of the night, maybe I'll read off some people that I owe respect to from Twitter. But otherwise, we're pretty much ready. You guys feeling ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
So, so this is going to be our episode 0. And the reason this is going to be really weird is we're going to be skipping past where you guys meet in the initial part of the story, which is something that we're going to do more formatively with all of our party here at once. And we're getting into a particular encounter, something that's happening in the middle of the battle stream that we're going to see in our episode 1. So in this case, you've visited a small village. It's a very poor village. The people who live there don't really have a lot of possessions. And in addition to that, they're mostly farmers. So the idea of having things for trade, manufactured goods, they don't really get a lot of things that they can produce there in their own village. I'm going to say village a lot. And they've been preyed upon by bandits. Some of the people who live outside of the village, they come from nomadic tribes, and they're able to do some simple things. You know, they live, they eat, they hunt, they gather. But if they want something, they tend to take it. So the people who live in this village already are poor. They tend to have, health problems, sickness problems, but also they've got bandits who are coming to their town, and they're taking whatever they feel like. They've got swords. There are more of them. They have horses. There's really not anything the villagers can do about it. And in the chaos that's happened, where these bandits have come in, threatened the village, 2 children are missing. So this is an older brother who is 15 and a younger brother who is 9. They've gone missing, and it's supposed that they've gone into the caves that are outside of town. So there's a rumor that perhaps there was a crypt there, perhaps there was some treasure there from previous civilization, a previous kingdom, and it's unclear really if these children went by themselves or if maybe they've been abducted by these bandits. But being the kind-hearted souls you are, since you're both interested in protecting the weak and making sure that people are defended, you've decided to go in search of these children. So we find ourselves in the thick of things as we start our episode 0.
What was the age of the other? The 15 and
15 and 9.
Oh, 9.
9. Do you want to go
Okay.
older? Yeah, right. They're not going to be able to get into a bar anytime soon. So,
Awesome.
yeah, and your gnome's name is Theophrastus, correct?
Theophrastix.
Theophrastus.
I changed it.
Right, okay.
Theophraxis.
So
There we go.
Theo. All right. And Will, what's your human cleric's name?
Arvin Bly.
Arvin Bly. Corporal Bly. All right.
Oh, okay.
And you find yourselves in this not very secluded but fairly isolated part of the wilderness outside of town. Everything is kind of open. There's not a lot of tree cover. The day feels a little bit warm, a little bit humid. The entire area is kind of humid, so it feels a little bit oppressive. You're sweating despite the fact that it's not really that hot out.
Okay.
But there's not really any cover. So the sun, it's kind of up there. It's beating down on you. You can feel that like slight haze. But then you've also got these low mountains. And they're set so that they present kind of a barrier between the town, the village over here rather, and some of the other places they could go where they'd be able to trade their wares for more or get their own manufactured goods. And the bandits that have come in are really taking advantage of this isolation in order to take whatever they want from them. But there is a cave. You've managed to find your way outside of town to the point where you've gotten to the mouth of the cave,
Awesome.
but you haven't gotten a chance to see inside yet. So tell me about your plan of action here. And you know each other, so talk amongst yourselves.
Well,
What are you thinking here?
I think anytime you come up to a cave like this, you're obviously going to be, potentially be someone out front guarding the entrance. That's what we did. And probably want to look around there first to make sure we don't trip any traps or set off any alarms.
Okay.
I've listened to you make noise as we've been walking through this field. I don't know that I'm much better, but at least my armor doesn't jingle when I'm walking around.
Okay, so Corporal Bly is wearing chainmail, correct?
Yes.
You are.
You've got your shield. What does your character look like?
5'10", tawny hair. He's on the healthy side, given his stats.
Like fairly robust, big, physically.
He's
hale?
physically fit.
Okay.
He's obviously spent some time in a physical job.
Okay.
So
Okay, good. And he's got a shield. He's got a mace. Do you wear any really overt holy symbols as a cleric of Lathander?
yeah, let's say that I'm wearing what do you call that? The tabard.
Like a tabard, sure.
Yeah, the tabard. I've got the golden sun of Pelor on the front and back.
Big golden sun on the
Yeah.
tabard, like a white tabard with a big golden sun on the front and back.
There we go.
Okay,
There
cool.
we go.
Yeah, that's overt. What's your holy symbol like?
It's just a small wooden sun.
Okay, so you've got a small wooden sun and then a much larger, like embroidered or
I made it myself. How about that?
yourself.
There we go.
All right, that's good. I like that. Okay, so how is Theophraxis?
There you go.
Okay, attired.
I hadn't really thought about this. I was going for typical steampunky Wild West guy.
Okay.
But maybe peel back on that a little bit and maybe more like a piratey kind of thing.
All right. Maybe not totally ready to be steampunky yet. Maybe doesn't have all the pieces
not quite
in place.
there. No, the pieces
Still
aren't quite
costuming, yeah.
there. Yeah, just common clothes, maybe traveling clothes, long overcoat, something to hide all my gear in,
Mm-hmm.
and.
Are you carrying both that longbow and that crossbow you started with in character creation?
Yeah, you know what? Probably not. I'll
Okay.
go with especially for this. If I hear cave, I'll go with the crossbow and the rapier,
Okay.
and I'll leave the long sword and the longbow behind.
Right. Those are in your other pants. That's fine.
Those are my other gnome pants,
Right.
my pantaloons.
Now, if I think of a tinker, I would think that he's going to be dirty and greasy, or else he's going to be a super clean freak. So,
I'd go with super clean.
super clean freak.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah.
How about your character? He's in the military. Does he take to discipline, or is he more of a messy guy?
He takes the discipline, but when you're out in the field,
There's
you're
that,
going to
yeah.
get dirty.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. All right. I'm looking forward
This,
to it
this
happening.
tabard is going to turn brown.
All right. So that's fine.
There you go.
So you guys have this cave, and you're
Yeah.
right there at the opening of it.
So-
Right now, so the map, we're using standard 5-foot squares. So you guys are
Okay.
about 30 feet from the entrance to the cave.
Should we move this?
You know, I've got a couple dice, and yeah, we'll see.
So the
So,
angle of the camera.
awesome. Yep.
It's like over here.
Just grab a big, that's good.
So I'm just gonna keep it from the camera.
Yeah, sure. I don't know how much better it's going to get for the map, but I mean, they are really cool maps. So it'd be nice if people could see them.
Okay, so
Well, I certainly can go up first. Look around,
well,
see what's there.
okay,
Um,
we can both go. You can cover me.
or you can go first, and I can cover you. We can do that too.
What do you guys want to do?
Tell you what. Let me go first. You hang back. If something shoots me, heal me.
I'll do my best.
Gotta love a cleric. Okay.
All right. So let's see here. I'll sneak up to here.
So you're moving up.
I'll try my stealth.
No, it's okay. Don't even roll for it.
All right,
We've
awesome.
got everything right here. So
Okay.
you've got the cave.
Yeah.
You can see the entrance. As you're approaching it again, it feels and smells like a cave. It's almost like coming home for you, right? You get a
Yeah.
little bit of that like loamy earth.
Mhm.
There's that stronger smell of like minerals and rock.
Mhm.
And the ground starts to get a little bit crunchier, a little bit harder underfoot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also still some soil here. So you can see there's some depressions and some disturbances where people have moved in and out of this cave.
Mhm.
But it doesn't look like a lot.
Okay.
As you're walking up, you can hear it's really quiet. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of movement or sound, but you're a gnome and you're used to being underground and you're used to listening for things in caves. So as you get closer, you can tell there's probably somebody there, but they're not immediately nearby.
Right. Okay.
Farther away. Something long distance for you. But again, definitely signs of life in this cave.
Okay. And nothing looks. It all looks
Nothing
natural.
looks like
There's
it's gonna
nothing
change.
artificial, or there's no construction hiding around there. There's
Right here, nothing looks like it's been worked. You know, this looks like a pretty natural stone entrance.
okay. All right. I'll quiet. And then I'll whisper to him, and I'll report basically what you just said. That it's looks pretty much like a standard cave entrance.
It is dark though. As you're looking at the cave, everything in here is pitch black.
Oh, that's right. Dark vision.
Dark
Going-
vision.
All right. So let me go first. Maybe you hang back. Maybe
Okay.
10, 15 feet.
Okay.
That way. Trying to figure out what we can do for your vision.
I have torches. I can bring the light of Pelor to guide my way, if need to.
Boy, that'd be fun. Okay. Okay. Well, if it comes down to that, yeah. Then let me go first. Then, because I have dark vision and I'll have an easier time of moving around. So if you have to go use your light, at least I don't necessarily want to be inside that ring of
I
light.
understand.
That way I can take people out if I have to. All right. So I'll just-
Okay, so you're moving forward. I haven't said it enough. I really like these maps from Arknight because then we get these cool little things like this. Now, I'm not smart enough to have prepared anything for like a fog of war, so we're just going to have to live with the idea that we're going to map off some of this stuff. It's not Christmas yet, guys, so we'll figure things out as we go. So this tunnel, at first, it looks like you're really just in like a small cavern. Nothing that looks too spacious. It doesn't smell really wet. There's not a lot of minerals that are here. There's a lot of like loam and earth on the floor. So if this is a cave that's been occupied, it hasn't been any time recently. But you see little faint footprints and some larger footprints. Like a couple groups of people have probably moved through here.
Does it look recent? Or
Yeah, it looks pretty recent.
looks
Yeah,
pretty
to your
recent.
eyes, you would imagine within the day.
Ooh, okay. And again, looks like there have been people around here recently. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll just keep going slowly until I will go slowly, cautiously, kind of looking around, checking the floors out, checking the walls out, making sure there's nothing that will jump out at me
Okay.
or fall on me or whatnot.
Cool. And this being both a session 0 where I don't have like a whole bunch of really super lethal traps planned for you guys, plus
Awesome.
because your character is skilled in being in burrows and being in caves, I don't feel like this is something we need to do a lot of rules for at this point. But I'm sure we'll get into being stealthy at some point. So you're going basically like straight
Yeah,
up,
I'll just go off to the edge there.
just like right over this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can see him standing out there, right?
Right.
Looking back. All right. 'Cause
I imagine I can't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, have you lit a torch at this point?
No.
No? You see a lot of black. It's pretty dark inside that cave, and especially with being backlit by the sun and being out here, it's really hard to see inside any depth.
I'm going to cast. Oh my god.
Like a cantrip light.
Yeah, I'm going to cast light on. God, should I cast it on my mace? Yeah, I'll cast it on my mace.
Okay, that's a good idea, right?
All right.
Okay, so I mean, of course, light makes it a nice bright light, and you can see all the way up here pretty easily.
Can you? Well, nothing good.
No, it's good. So I mean, right here at about 30 feet, you can see very comfortably. Out here at 60 feet, it's a little bit harder to see, but there's still plenty of illumination for this area.
Okay.
So and even out here, it's gotten considerably brighter out in the wilderness, just outside of the cave. So you can see the whole cave up to this point. Everything looks
I'll go like
fairly
this.
clean and
If you
easy.
can see me.
Yeah, and as you're walking along here, you see very small gnomish footprints. And then there are actually some footprints here that look around the size of the footprints that Theo leaves. And then some larger footprints that look maybe heavier, deeper set. You know, like a boot has been placed on them, maybe something worn by a full-size adult.
So then as he comes up around that way, I'll kind of swing out around this way.
Okay. So you're going to find yourself with, again, this is going to be just a blank spot. We're not going to use that, wall. But we've got here just a plain, straightforward tunnel. And as you're continuing on around this way, you see, again, more footprints, more simple tracks. Nothing that's going anywhere near the edges. Everything's staying right here in the center.
Like they know their way around. They've been through it before. It's not someone sneaking around like me.
Maybe that, or maybe people don't want to bang their sides on the walls and they've got torches or something like that.
Okay. Oh, do I see any smoke marks on the ceilings from torches or things
okay.
of fire, that kind of stuff? Soot marks?
Nothing really.
Okay.
You know, maybe it's not been like enough heavy use or things like that. It's a good call. Didn't think about that. So, are you going to continue going
Yep.
up this way?
Yeah, I'll keep going, and well, I want to go slow enough so that I don't want to lose sight of. I'm sorry, I forgot your name already.
Arvin.
Arvin, I don't want to lose sight of Corporal Bly.
That's right.
There we are.
That's right. So you can see further
so
around
that's
here that there's actually more tunnel going down to the left, but there's also further tunnel going straight forward that seems like it's going to go into a different chamber.
I'll go straight, I guess.
You're going to go straight.
Yeah, always go.
All right. Bly, you're going to be where? Back here still?
Yeah. Back.
All right. That's good. That way when the monster jumps out, it doesn't get you.
Sweet.
That's what we're all going for in life, right?
Yeah. You just gotta run faster than the other guy.
That's right. So we're here like this. There we go. So one thing about tiles. Okay, so you've got, again, a pretty straightforward tunnel. This tunnel actually is kind of like dead-ending and continuing around to the left. And, you know, There's some areas up here where it seems like it gets kind of tight, like it's a little bit close for a human. Still okay for you, but you can see where some people would be uncomfortable exploring this cave.
All right. Oh, I'll can you have him get a little bit closer, and then
Maybe like that.
yeah, and then say, "There's a tight space down here. I'll go a little bit first to see what's there, and I'll come right back." So just go down this way a bit.
Mhm.
So it's tight
Yep.
space.
Yep.
See what I see over there.
Well, so you're seeing just this. You're seeing a pretty wide open tunnel. When we get over here, where these areas kind of lead off the map, what you're going to see is the tunnels get really tight and small, and it looks like maybe there's even been some cave-ins, like some things where tunnels have collapsed over time.
Sure.
But otherwise, you see a corridor that goes to the left and to the right.
Okay. Well, I'll just come that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
And I'm assuming I'm going to see the light coming back down this way, right?
Yeah,
With
you
his
do
light.
see light going down that
All
way.
right. So now I'll just. Oh, oops. I'm sorry. I will double back then and get him
Okay.
and get and explain. Yeah, this go over that way. Opens up that way. Let's go. Keep going that way.
Short version.
Short version.
So you guys are over this way. Now, one of the things you notice as you start to look into this next chamber is that it looks like they're actually worked stone walls. And you can see that where the cavern wall has been, it's like somebody actually built this cavern and they sort of sculpted or melded this stone block directly into the cavern wall.
So does it look like just does it look like a reinforcement, or does it like I'm gonna like something that's built to reinforce the wall, or does it look like something they are building a wall? Do you see what I'm saying? There's like a different.
It looks like this may be some sort of subterranean building. So it might have been something like a piece of dwarf architecture or maybe some human architecture from like a ruin or a crypt. But it looks like somebody took the natural cavern stone and they just built up and into it.
Right.
You seeing anything that looks like a door?
That's a good question. Do I see a door?
You don't see a door. What you do see is there are some cracks where the stone has been really shoved together and kind of like, moved because of maybe settling of the earth, maybe some sort of other cataclysmic event. And maybe a child would have been able to get through there, maybe a really small child. But it looks like there was a lot of scrabbling around here, a lot of movement, like something tried that, and like it didn't really lead all the way in. For you, it looks pretty tight. You would probably have to leave most of your personal gear here to get through that tunnel.
So is it like a bunch of debris that I can like pull out, or is it just sort of the way the rocks are kind of laying against each other? There happens to be like spaces in there.
Yeah, so maybe if this was like an arrow slit or a window, or maybe just a break in the stone, it's like it's fallen upon itself. And
Right.
it also looks fairly unstable. Like if you pushed yourself far enough in there, you might not be able to get out.
Don't go in there. No, don't.
We do have a
don't go
branching
in there.
passageway over here to the left. That does seem to continue on.
But I do have a bad habit of fiddling with things that I
Yes.
don't know much about. So
Okay,
I'm
we'll
going to
leave
walk
that.
up to that stone.
Right.
I'm going to kind of poke at it.
Right.
You try to pull a piece of
Sure.
that rock
Is
out.
this? No. What are you doing?
Well, I've got to look at it. It might be something interesting. I don't know.
It is interesting. It's like playing Jenga. I mean, at this point, you never know what's going to happen.
I'm gonna walk up behind and add assistance with my glowing torch,
Right.
so you can see.
I'll just pull a couple pieces of the rock out and look and see if it opens up the hole any wider.
Sure. Yeah, so no, it doesn't really seem to open up the hole too much wider because as soon as you start pulling stuff out,
It
it
starts
just starts
collapsing.
crumbling down on itself some more. And you could get yourself in there at this point. But I mean, if you do, it's going to be just you. It's certainly not going to include Corporal Bly over here.
See, this is why you need to be a small person. Okay. Can I tell how deep it goes in?
It looks like it's actually a fairly good-sized chamber.
No, I mean, but like the depth of the wall itself. I mean,
Yeah,
does it
so
go
the
in
depth
really
of the wall,
far?
maybe 3 feet.
Okay, so I'll take my rapier
Yeah.
and reach in with it like this.
Sure,
And kind of
okay.
go like that.
Yep, and you hear that clack, 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 clack of it clangling around the stone. Nothing really seems to come of it other than that. Nobody grabs the end or anything
So,
like
yeah,
that.
so- and I don't really see anything in there either.
No, I mean you see maybe some faint source of light,
Mm-hmm.
but it otherwise doesn't seem like there's anything that interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
And the air smells, kind of like heavy and stale.
Okay.
Something definitely tried to get in here. Doesn't look like it was successful.
And if it's heavy and stale, there's not ventilation and anything else either. Okay. All right. I'll just grab one of the pieces of rock and pocket it and go off that way.
Okay, yeah. You've got a piece of rock now. Good show. So you're over here. You're coming around.
You never know.
I never do with you, Sean. I never do. So we've got some other kind of winding territory here like this. And what we're going to do is, because our table only gets so big, we're going to move some of this stuff back. I just need more paper, period.
Here.
Any paper?
Thanks. I don't want to spoil all the surprises for you guys. Okay, we're good. So we've got, I know, coming around the corner here, we've got another pretty wide open stretch. A lot of these tunnels, you get the feeling they just kind of dead end someplace or another. So you've got tunnel going up in front of you, and you've got tunnel leading over towards the right.
Sure, I'll go whatever wander around, obviously. Eventually I'll work my way over that way.
So you kind of look.
Look around.
All the tracks that you've seen, they kind of go this way, and then they're continuing around to the
Well,
right.
I'll go that way then. That's a good idea. Hey, tracking. All right, I'll just keep going. I mean, if I'm not seeing anything dangerous,
That's
or
right.
I don't, I'll just keep moving.
It seems fairly non-dangerous at this point. Nothing's really popped out at you. You haven't been eaten yet. So we're here like this. And again, the tracks seem to go more towards the right.
All right, well, just go ahead and follow.
So you're coming around here to the right. And one of the things you see here is that you can see more of the stonework like before. But the really different feature here is that this stone wall has crumbled down. It looks like in this case, whatever subterranean structure was there has actually been broken out and has led into this larger natural cavern.
Cool. Okay, so the artificial part. Wait, so is that an artificial part, or is that the?
This is
that
the
normal?
artificial part.
The
This looks like
artificial
work stone that has been knocked down.
All right.
And it's blasted
it's a bigger
outwards
chamber
towards
too.
you.
It's blasted out this way.
Yeah, it's coming out
So
towards
so
you.
there's debris.
So you can see there's stone that has fallen
Oh,
up
right
in this
there.
way.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay, and I'll say I'll turn around. So there's some walls up front, up ahead, fairly wide open cavern. Some of the wall looks like it's been broken down. If we're gonna find anything, it's probably gonna be there.
Then let's go.
Yeah, and I don't know how whispering carries on stream. Scooter, any notes for us?
Oh, good point.
How do you like the whispers? It's good? All right, we'll keep it. All right.
I
So-
say in a whisper.
Might as well, right? We've only got 3 people. We've really got to keep a...
We'll find
Yeah.
out later.
That's right. I'm going to hear you guys no matter what. I'm sitting a foot away, so...
Yep. So let's go back around.
Right.
Okay, now I'm gonna be a lot more cautious now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna come over here
Yeah.
to. Looks like there's this sort of broken off wall,
Uh-huh.
and as
Yeah.
I'm coming across this way, I kind of go around the long way.
That's good.
I'm
So the
coming
walls-
right in.
All right.
Well,
I
there you
believe
go.
that. Now, your walls here are about 15 feet up. As we get to here, they're slowly sloping down as the stone's been broken out. So this pile of stone here is about 3 feet off the ground.
Okay.
So definitely plenty for you to hide behind if that's what you're going for. Oh, we got you turned around, Corporal Bly. So you're
Still walking
shooting
backwards.
straight up, huh?
Yep.
Like this.
Come around. Okay.
All right,
Around the
well, it's
corner.
bright. So there's that. And there's a stone wall here where it seems like there's another room that's inside of this. But you have a stone corridor. Right here, it's about 20 feet across. It's a fairly big-sized building. It's not decorated very ornately, but it is decorated. The walls have like gentle curving engravings, almost like a vine motif to them. And they're just kind of everywhere. So the stones all look like they've been gently carved, gently like engraved as you're moving in. On the floors, the stones fit together very well. They're very nicely and carefully set. And it looks like there's a small pattern to it.
Do the carvings look religious at all?
It looks like it might be religious or honorific in some way. Do you want to try and see what you know about it?
I rolled a 19.
Nice.
That's our first skill roll of the night. That's not bad.
That's -1. Yeah, so 18.
18, right? Because you've actually got a -1 to your religion.
That's right.
Excellent. Okay, yes, you're pretty sure these are religious. It looks like something that's either a lot simpler or else something that's maybe just from a totally different pantheon than what you're used to. To you, it looks very tribal. It looks very simple. But for the people who did this with the stonework and so forth, it's actually pretty skillful. If you had to imagine something, you'd be imagining like a nature deity or like a fertility deity, maybe something to do with, honoring the dead.
This is really old and These poor people, they never felt Pelor's light. That's all I know from these carvings.
It's very lovely craftsmanship. I mean, these carvings are beautiful. I'll bend down and kind of look at them. Kind of run my finger down the crack and look at it and kind of admire it for a little bit.
Yeah. For something that's probably not made by gnomes, it's not bad.
Yeah. Spend probably a little bit too much time kind of walking around looking at it. Maybe forget for a moment why I'm actually here.
Right.
Kind of mess around with it, and I look around at the patterns, and move around a little bit, and
Sure.
then kind of snap myself out of it and go, oh wait, I'm here for a reason.
So you guys have a hallway that continues on this way. There's definitely some more stuff going on over there. There's also 2 rooms that have fairly simple looking passageways. There's stone arches, there's no door, and they actually look lit, gently lit inside.
Do you see the lights? All right, I will. Oh,
Let's see this one first. I'll go first.
all right.
You cover me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm a terrain nerd. I'm totally going to put up door arches.
Awesome. Your terrains are awesome.
I do love doing the terrain. DM Scotty's DM's Craft. I will totally do a shout out later.
Okay, so I'm going to take up a position right there.
Okay,
So
yeah.
then, as he crosses through, I'm going to maneuver that way.
Okay. So you're
There's
going
no
into
hiding.
the doorway.
So I'm not even going to try.
Not even going to try clank, clank, clank.
Clank, clank, jingle,
And
jingle.
while he's clanking and jangling, you're now going to shoot around to the other side of the doorway.
I'm going to come up like that.
Right. Okay, so
Position myself right there.
no problem. You guys can both easily see into the room. It's a really simple room. Both of these archways seem to go to the same place. So you've got a simple stone room, and then here at the back, there's a single sarcophagus, like a stone crypt that's been set. Yeah, what could go wrong?
You want to go first?
I suppose
See, train's fun until it gets in the way, right?
Yeah, that's
we're here for children. We're not here to rob graves.
fine. I'm not a grave robber, but we don't know what's there. Maybe they're stuck in there. Kids closing
Right.
themselves up in tombs and
You're right.
coffins.
You're absolutely right.
So I think we should go check it out.
Yes.
It's actually insightful. Okay, so do you guys want to make a perception check at this point?
Oh, yes, I do.
And are you trying to be stealthy at all?
Yeah, I'll try to be stealthy.
You're going to try to be stealthy? Okay,
I am
sure.
not.
Well, you know, this is the dice rolling part of fun, right?
Here's
So
my perception first. Oh, that came off well. 11 on my perception.
11 for perception.
And that's great too. And,
Nice.
nice.
21 perception. Wow.
And that's gonna
What is it with you and the dice tonight?
This is a first.
Okay, now do call out
First
natural 20s because
Okay.
everybody loves to hear about a natural 20. You were just meant to play a cleric all this time?
Apparently.
8.
it's-
I got an 8 on
calling
my
you.
stealth.
All right,
I'm
excellent.
stealthy and I'm perceptive.
The same thing is happening in both cases. You are trying very hard to pay attention to the situation and be a little bit discreet, and you have a lumbering mass of chainmail behind you that is continually distracting you. It's like being in a workshop. You feel like you're behind like some sort of giant gear work as he just clangs and jangles his way forward. But he's honed in like a laser.
Excuse me.
As you get to about here, you actually can hear there are tiny muffled, like hitting sounds coming from that sarcophagus. They
Do I-
sound
I
kind
don't
of
hear
meaty. Yeah, you kind of hear it, but you also hear a lot of chainmail.
Right.
I hear them. They're in there.
Wait.
All right,
I got my crossbow.
you guys like where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make an initiative check here.
Right.
That's the best part of an initiative, right?
It worked.
Hey, you found something you
Wow.
like.
I rolled a 2.
Hey, you know what? That balances out the other stuff. Okay, so your initiative
22.
modifier, which is in the middle of the sheet there, should be the same as your dex bonus.
Okay.
Plus 10.
Yeah, right.
So I'm at 3.
Excellent.
22.
22. So you're going first. So you've done what here?
All right. Well, I want to keep my range bonus. I'll kind of hunker over here
Yep.
and just prepare and wait.
Okay.
I'll hold my action.
So you have a crossbow.
If something evil comes out of that thing, I will shoot it.
Okay, so shooting things that come out of the coffin. All right, well, my initiative
If
doesn't
they're
matter
evil.
because there is a stone box that is still closed. So, Corporal Bly,
Go ahead. Do it.
And you give
or
it a shove.
I guess lift or whatever.
Well, you kind of lift and kind of like half toss the lid off, and you're able to open up this sarcophagus.
Children, I'm here.
Well, you find one child. And my apologies for not having better child-sized minis, but we're going to deal with this little halfling guy as being a child.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There is a small boy. He's 9 years old. He looks very afraid, stark white. His lips are actually getting a little bit blue. There really wasn't much air in that coffin while he was at it. And his hands look badly bruised and kind of scratched up from hitting and pushing on the lid of this coffin. And he is just running tears, and he's very upset and springing up instantly and just totally fearful, looking around, never seen either of you before, and kind of scrabbling back against the back
It's okay.
of the
It's okay.
coffin.
So,
Put down the crossbow. It's all right.
son, you're safe. You're safe. We're here to find you. We're here to help.
His clothing, which looks like it was already kind of rough peasant clothing, it has rips in it, and it looks very badly handled, like somebody had grabbed him here on the front and kind of torn down the front of his shirt. It's kind of hanging at his shoulder and hanging at the neck. And he just looks really afraid. Okay, you peek inside. It looks like it's a sarcophagus that probably had something in here at some point or another. Right now, it's just all kicked up and scattered around by the boy that was in there.
May I? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
May I use my persuasion to try and calm them down?
You can certainly make a persuasion roll. Go ahead and talk about how to do this. You rolled a 2 again? Excellent. So what's your approach like? How are you trying to deal with this child?
I'm set down the mace, set down the shield, put my hands up, and just trying to speak calmly and slowly.
All right. Go ahead.
We're not a threat. We're here to find you. We know you're missing. Are you hungry? We're ready to take you back to your village.
About this time, he's realizing you had a mace, you had a shield. You've already said you're not actually threatening him, but he kind of heard those things first, or paid attention to those things first, and just looks really shocked and panicked. Are they still here? Who? The dead people. Yeah, this is a
Dead
good
people.
time, right?
Where's
What do you mean?
where's the girl?
What? What?
Did a girl come in here with you?
He's got a brother.
Oh, brother.
Right, brother.
Brother.
Older brother. This looks like the younger brother.
Your brother.
I don't know. He was. They took him.
Who took him?
The bandits, I think, took him. There were 3 of them, but they weren't the ones who stuck me into this coffin.
Did they come in? Did they come in here? The bandits.
Yes. And he just looked really frightened. He's looking at the corners,
Did the dead
Let's-
people
let's
put
get
you in
him
the
out.
coffin?
and you see his eyes get really big, and he's like leaning back. No, and he's leaning back and he's scooting back like he sees something behind you both, directly behind you both, and kind of lumbering in the door here. We've got 2 what definitely look like skeletons. There's no meat left on their bones. They've got like long, ragged strands of hair. They're carrying weapons in one case, and the other one is barehanded. I actually really like the versatility in these Arcanite miniatures, I gotta admit. But they look like they're just here and ready to do you harm. Maybe they're going to put you in the coffin next. They are definitely lumbering forward towards you.
I will shoot the closest one.
All right. Well, you did hold that action, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Because we are keeping our initiative scores. Enjoy that 3, Will.
Oh, I am.
I know.
Imagine I'm busy scrambling to pick up my weapons.
Be a 18.
18. Okay, which skeleton are you taking aim on?
The one with the weapon.
The one with the weapons. Okay, so you see the one with the weapons. He's coming up towards you. You point your crossbow at him. You take aim. You're going to roll for damage. Nice.
11.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. 9.
9. All right. 11 had me kind of worried there for a
Yeah,
second.
no.
Okay, so you take aim. You shoot right at the skeleton. It actually hits him right in the eye socket.
Nice.
But he is a skeleton, and so hitting him in the eye socket, even though it's gone through into his skull and it's rattling around, you can see his head kind of moving back and forth. It doesn't stop the skeleton. It's still continuing forward, and it keeps continuing straight forward like this. And it kind of starts turning like it's going to go for you, and it's coming over this way. But skeletons don't move that fast, so we're going to leave it right there at the end of this round. Okay, and then as a additional action, it doesn't really want to close with you. We're going to keep it there. Skeleton number 2, come over, kind of coming through the doorway, going right for you, Corporal Bly. Okay, now your armor class is quite high. What's your armor class?
18.
18. All right, yeah, there's my 2. So no, that skeleton's not going to hit you. So it swipes out with its skeleton hand like it's just going to try to grab you. Maybe it's going to try to stick you in the coffin next, and you just bat it aside with your shield, not even getting any hesitation in your movement. It's your turn to strike back.
Attack me, roll you. Foul red scum. I rolled a 4.
4. Okay, so 4. What's your attack modifier to that?
My attack is 5. So
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
9. 9 is not great. Unfortunately, even totally unarmored skeletons do better than 9. So you swing at it, and the skeleton is still not slow. And when you're swinging with your mace, it kind of brings its arm up, and the way that it deflects across its arm, it doesn't really do any damage to the skeleton. Okay, so we're going back to the top of the initiative, which is going to be back to Sean with Theo. Okay, so you're up again.
I will shoot it again. I'm going to take
Okay.
one step back
Yep.
and then shoot it again.
Okay, awesome. One of the things you're finding out, this is a solid wall. I know it's not really clear by this
That's
point.
a natural 1.
Natural 1. So you're
Nice.
shooting with the crossbow, and as you fire, the bolt just goes totally off, hits a far wall. And actually, you know what we're going to do is we're going to have it go this way over here, so that when it hits that far wall, it hits this torch, and it actually drops this torch down off the wall that had been previously lit, and so it's down on the ground. It can't really cause any flame or anything like that, but we are going to lose sight of what's going on over here in terms of natural vision. So, and Will, while you're doing this light spell, did you maintain your light cantrip on your mace this whole time?
Yes.
Okay, so let's make sure. I just want to really quickly look up things on light. I don't recall if this is a concentration spell. It is not. It lasts for a whole hour. So the cool thing is that you've got light for quite a while, and you don't have to maintain it. There's a thing called concentration in 5th edition, and you can hold one concentration spell at a time.
Okay.
So the great news is you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so you've got light, but over here it's quite a bit darker than it was before. These maps, actually, if I had thought about this, I could probably have scratched something out and just written on them with a pen. Okay, skeletons are moving. This one is continuing to advance on you like this, Theophrastus, and he is striking at you. He's raising up this kind of like dirty, rusty old sword, and he's just chopping straight down overhead at you. Okay, what's your AC?
Oh, out. That's
Yes,
a
that is
14.
it. Right.
So the blood begins.
Okay, you take 4 points of damage as this rusty old sword. It doesn't so much cut you as much as just hit you and kind of beat you down
Okay.
right across the shoulder near your collarbone. And it does a little bit of a digging in, but it's mostly just hammering down.
Hey, that's
All right.
Sorry, I just grabbed pencils.
That's great. Skeleton number 2,
Okay.
grabbing at you again. Here we go, Corporal Blythe. All right, no, the skeleton grabs at you, and he just fumbles, and his claws kind of skitter off of you. You just kind of push him back. He's actually a little further back than when he started this round. Okay, as this is happening, the young boy seems to have noticed that these skeletons are totally distracted by you. This is great. He starts scampering over the lid of this sarcophagus and running out the door. No more terrain right there.
I'll yell for him to wait.
He's out of the area where you can see him immediately.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'll hit him. Well, he saw it too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
yeah,
Boy, stop running!
that's probably gonna work. Okay, Blythe, you're up.
All right, I'm going to go for this. Actually, I'm going to move behind this skeleton. That's attacking Theo. And I'm going to attack him.
Okay.
15.
15 to hit is definitely gonna hit.
Nice.
Okay, so you guys are teaming up on the same skeleton now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, no, you're good.
Shoot.
You got to keep it on the table.
Okay. 1.
1, excellent.
So that's plus strength
Yep.
of 4.
Okay, 4. So the great thing about being skeletons is they are skeletons. When you take your mace and you raise it up and smash it down on the back of the skeleton, the damage that you do is so much more than you expect with this mace. It just splinters bone and sends it cascading down to the ground. The skeleton just kind of collapses. You know, its shield falls down, its rusty half sword falls down, and is just crushed to the ground. Okay, I'm going to move that guy over here. All right, so yeah, back at the top of the initiative, we've got one skeleton in the room.
So it's me, right?
Yeah, it's your
Okay.
turn.
Can I grab the shield, run over to that guy, and whack him with it?
So you're going to grab a shield, run up and hit him with it. Sure.
Yeah.
It's an improvised weapon. No problem with that.
Because clearly the piercing isn't working.
Go for it. So when you're hitting with the shield, don't use your proficiency bonus because this is an improvised weapon. You're just going to be using your strength
Just my
bonus.
strength bonus, okay? strength bonus. 14.
Nice. It's a skeleton. So the great thing is that strength bonus by itself is enough. So you've got this shield, and you're running up, and you just smash into its face. Okay, do a d6 damage. You have your own d6 if you prefer, I'm sure.
Oh, shouldn't have done
That's
that.
about
man.
right for a shield.
All right, so yeah, 1. Oh, do I add my strength bonus?
Yeah, I do strength
3.
bonus. So it's 3. Now this is a bludgeoning weapon with skeleton.
Mhm.
They have a vulnerability against bludgeoning.
Okay.
So basically, you take this shield, and that's all mechanic stuff. When you hit it, you smash it right in the face. Its lower jaw falls off. Its
Nice.
teeth get crumbled in, and it's staggered back against the wall. It's more damage you need before with that crossbow bolt. It feels like It's also got that satisfying thump of hitting skeleton with shield. So great. Okay, now the downside is you're right there with him.
Sure.
So now
But
on
now I
his
have a shield.
initiative, yeah, and he's striking at you. So with this new shield being interposed between you and him, he's hitting at it and scrabbling it with his claw. But he's so fixated on the shield, he never gets a hit on you.
Nice.
Okay, Corporal Bly.
Move in.
Yep. Okay, and you're going into that natural military flanking position, taking advantage of your partner.
Okay, 16.
16 as you handily come up and begin your strike upon the skeleton.
Okay. 5.
5. And again, this mace just comes pounding down. The arm of the skeleton gets separated from its chest. Its whole body just falls apart, and it gets crashing down to the ground. There's just body parts everywhere. So basically, other than the fact that you've got these 2 discorporated skeletons in the room, there's nothing else.
Boy, they're down.
I'm
Are
gonna,
you still there?
I'm gonna run out this way.
Okay.
I'll see where he went.
You run out, and you see nothing. Okay. You go down that way. You still don't see anything right away. Make a perception roll. We'll see if you're successful.
15.
15.
Oh, I'm sorry, no. 18.
18.
God, I
Wow.
can't even add.
Hold on.
Okay, all right. Let's work on the math.
17.
17. Final
This is
answer.
hard to do on the camera.
Okay, so
17.
we've got math, and you can see the little boy is hiding in that same pile of rocks you came into when you first saw the room. He's kind of like pushed over it, and he's cowering down really low behind these rocks.
I'll slow my pace down. Say,
Yeah, so he's taking basically 2 moves here. So what are you doing during that time? Are you
I
following?
guess I'm walking up.
You want to beeline that way. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So you're going up this
very
way.
slowly go up. Boy,
Maybe
it's
like
okay.
that?
It's all right, boy. It's okay. They're dead. They're gone.
And he looks up, and he stops cowering and looks up just a little bit. You're really small.
It helps me in places like this.
How old are you?
Let me look at my character sheet. Tell you.
Right.
65.
He just looks astonished.
We live a long time. Haven't you ever seen a gnome before?
No.
Well, here you go. No. I'll play with my ears.
All right.
It's okay. Come on out.
Can I hear this?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can hear this. And as the little boy starts coming over the rock pile, you notice he's probably like a good 5 inches taller than Theophrastus. So,
What's your name, boy?
Jax?
Jax. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
You-
Theo.
Okay. My brother's in there.
Which way?
I don't know. They
Okay.
told us to look for treasure. And they sent me in there because they said I was small and I should be able to get my hand in there easily. And then those and he just starts crying and he's like just falling apart. And
It's okay. It's okay.
And he's weeping and he's just like there's snot coming out. He's just really upset.
I'll root through my pack if I got some yummy thing to offer him. And
He's just kind of holding it. He's blinking back.
That's garlic.
He's just blinking back tears. He just looks
Jalapenos, man.
like he's totally falling apart this whole time. The poor guy.
All right. Do you know what direction the bandits went?
And he's like pointing down this way. They went that way
Okay.
with.
Okay.
And they have your brother.
Yep.
Is that good enough for you?
That's good enough for me.
Let's get this boy home, and we'll come back.
We can lead him out and then come back in.
That we can do. We can do that too.
Because I don't want to spend the time to go all the way back to the village.
How far away is the
Can you
camp?
get back to your village on your own if we leave you out?
Maybe. For you guys, it's probably like 4 hours. if he's walking, especially for a boy this size, walking by himself, it's probably gonna take him 4 hours.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
It's gonna be almost almost
Right.
like dusk by the time
We
he gets
can't
back.
take him with us.
We can tell him to hide back in the crypt again.
No. I don't think. You're not going to hide back in the crypt if we tell you to.
Like in the coffin.
Yeah.
With it open, we can leave food and water for you, and we can come back as soon as we get your brother. It's safe there, unless you want to come with us to go find your brother.
I really want to find my brother, but I don't know that I can help. I mean, it's. What if there's more skeletons? It's fairly.
He
We can
cannot
take
stay
care
here.
of that.
He cannot stay here in this cave. There's more cave than there is us.
I'm just worried that whatever's happening to his brother is going to happen while we're out.
I share your concern, yes. His brother is 15. He's not 9. He's not a child.
You kind of. I'll stay in the crypt if that's what's best. I want my brother to be safe.
I can give him some food and some water.
I'm sure I don't know.
He's
what-
like bringing himself together. You know, he was like cleaning off his face, and he bites, and it's like some sort of like root jerky.
Mushrooms. Mushroom jerky.
Should we leave him by the entrance instead of the crypt?
Would you rather be by the entrance?
Out in the daylight?
On the light? That way if something does come, you can hide outside?
I don't know. I think I would rather be near where you are if you guys are going to be here. I mean, I don't know how many bandits there are. I've seen more than 3 bandits before. I think there are only 3 here.
We can take 3.
Yeah, we can take 3. Yeah, I think it's best that he goes back inside
Okay.
and leave him some food and
Let's do a search
How-
around here before.
sure.
Okay.
And we'll leave the I'll leave like my Legionnaires pack with him.
All right.
One of
All
my
right.
packs with him.
Sure. Your 2 packs and your 1 longbow and your 1 crossbow. Sure, why not?
No, my rapier.
You could outfit this boy with everything he would need to become a first level fighter.
There
With what
you
you
go.
got left, you know.
That's what I was thinking actually.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, so we'll just do a real quick look around.
Okay.
And while that's going on, sort of pay attention to what's in case we hear other people or whatever.
Okay. So what kind of things do you want to do? Are you trying to really investigate and take a good look around, or what's
Make sure
your
there's
thought?
no more skeletons.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I'd like to, if the boy has any wounds, of course, take care of that first.
Okay. So go ahead and do a simple medicine check, because this seems like this is something that can be handled just through natural, normal
I rolled
means.
a 6, so that's 12.
Great. You're basically doing the equivalent of putting a Band-Aid on some things that look like there's scrapes on him.
Okay.
You know, you do some light bandaging, you clean off some things with some water, but he's actually surprisingly okay. He has some little gouges like here where his shirt got ripped up, and it looks like the skeleton just grabbed him and tossed him in. And he has some bumps and some bruises, but he's a 9-year-old boy. It's not the worst.
You're very brave for doing this.
You're very brave.
Just, please help my brother.
We will do
We'll find
everything we can. Okay, so we'll leave him back over there.
Okay.
And once we get him all set up, that rock I took before, I'll give to him and say, if you have to use it, just if it's a skeleton, just hit the skeletons with it. They'll break.
He's holding
Maybe.
a rock. Okay.
Maybe last ditch effort, at least something.
Okay. All right.
Because if you're a big, fairly large stone that I,
Mhm.
that I
Sure, you
nicked-
could have like a
Yeah.
fairly big, like
yeah,
5 or
that
6
thing
pound
that I
stone.
took from him. Yeah,
Sure.
pulled out of
I
there.
mean, there's plenty of other stones you could be grabbing, you know, because we got
Torches.
this whole broken
If
area
we're
here.
leaving the pack too. we can-
Well, and there is a torch actually burning on this wall over here.
Oh yeah, let's
So-
relight that.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just a torch that's laying on the ground, so you can
Okay.
relight it easily. And this room has fairly good lighting at this point.
Oh no, I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, let's get him back back in the.
Poor guy.
I know, right?
All right. So he's basically got the lid partially closed,
Yeah,
kind of
That's what
hiding
I'm thinking.
out.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, that's not bad.
He's not sharing it with anything in there?
Are you going to take a better look around?
Yeah, let's take a look before we shove him back in the box.
So,
Box boy.
yeah, I mean, it looks like there was at some point a body that was here. It's not there anymore, but there are what looks like some grave goods. You know, there's like a linen piece of linen sheet that's down here on the bottom of the box. So you've got a piece of linen that runs like the whole length of the 6-foot sarcophagus. You've got some little things that look like maybe there were rings, like little, fairly simple You can't really tell from the tarnish if they're bronze or if they're like silver or something like that. But there are some rings. There's what looks like it used to be like a crusty like herbal headpiece, like if somebody had put like a crown on someone, maybe of laurels or something like that. And it's very desiccated and old at this point. So there's a lot of little stuff like that that's left remains in this box. Not really too many bugs or beetles or anything like that. Everything that's in there is dead.
If you want any of that, have at.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can give it to the townsfolk. Something for them to trade. Whatever
Sure.
laid in here is not going to use it. Whatever false god they buried him in there.
You're awfully serious.
Once you feel the light of Pelor, you realize that there's nothing else.
We'll have lots of discussions.
I'll take the grave goods of.
Okay, yeah, so there's 6 rings that all look like they're fairly good size but poorly wrought.
Okay.
And then other than that, you've got, little things that like crumble when you touch them. That linen sheet like basically falls apart when you're moving it. That whatever that herbal headdress piece was, it's basically crumbled in there. And then the other things that are in there, like the bugs and the beetles, they're all just dead bugs and beetles.
Okay.
No nutritional value.
Oh, darn.
So,
All right. So yeah, let's put the boy back in the box.
right. So he's there like that, and he's actually, by this point, he's calmed down a lot,
Mhm.
and he's kind of brave, and he even goes over to where the skeleton had dropped that rusty sword that hacked into your shoulder, and he
Oh.
picks it up, he says, I'm going to hold on to this.
Okay. Actually, I'll give him the shield.
And he's got the shield that now has like this, like fine imprint of where it's smashed into his skeleton. And he remembers it, and he actually feels pretty good, even though the shield is bigger around than he is, and he can barely lift it up.
Oh shit! Let me take a look at you.
Okay.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, he's a little wounded. What are you doing to take a,
I'm
just like a
just,
medicine check?
Yeah, just doing simple
Okay.
medicine right
Basically, you're going to keep him from getting gangrene,
Okay.
like that, but he's not going to regain hit points right away.
now. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, now this is an excellent time to illustrate some of the fine points about being a fighter. Amongst other things, you do have a second wind. You could always regain some
I
hit
don't do
points.
it yet.
Okay, and in 5th edition in general, you have hit dice. So you guys each have 1 hit die right now. That's something you can use for natural healing and recovery of wounds. It costs no spells, anything else, but they don't replenish it immediately. You get half of your class levels back every long rest. So it means it would take you guys 2 days to get that 1 hit die back. So if you wanted a hit die, you could also roll a hit die.
And
To take a short rest.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it.
Well,
You
we
guys
can
would
do
be here
that.
for. You guys
Yeah.
have already taken most of a short rest by this
And
point.
then
I think.
extra, and have lost 4 out of. You take a short rest?
okay.
Alright,
Okay.
A lot of people talk about how brutal 5th edition is for first level characters. So
Yeah,
this would be a chance for you guys to
Please,
roll.
please say something if you do need healing, because I'm not.
Sure. You should save yourself.
So is this a hit die or is this a second wind?
This is a hit die.
Because if you're going to take a short rest, honestly, I would do second wind first because you get it back.
Do you?
Yeah, short rest to get second wind back.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's do
So
second
yeah,
one.
roll a
See, I've never
d10
played a
at
fighter
your
before.
class
So
level. So I mean, right there
roll
you
a
get
d10
2 to 11 hit points back.
plus my. Well, that's it. I'm full up.
Bam.
Okay.
So for people who play fighters, second wind is bomb. Got to use all
And
the
I get
time.
it back because I
You
did
just
a
got
short,
it back,
a short
right,
rest.
right.
Oh, cool. See. Awesome.
So
that
during
makes
that-
more sense.
Yeah, so during that 30 minutes of kind of like downtime and reassuring the boy and making sure things are okay, while he was resting basically, were you trying to do anything additional here?
No, maybe chat the boy up and
Okay.
make him feel more secure.
Not really probing for information, just trying to make sure that he feels reassured in the situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depending on how long the rest is, obviously ask him some questions about the bandits.
Okay.
What kind of weapons did they have?
Sure, sure.
That's a good call.
So his older brother, who's 15, is named Tam.
Tam.
So you know that now. Apparently Tam has a habit of venturing outside of the village. Whether or not he's ever gone this far, his brother doesn't know. But he knows that his brother has a habit of going outside of the village and occasionally comes back with something that seems like he found it somewhere. Definitely not something native to his village. And oftentimes he's able to make a little bit of money by selling it to somebody who does like peddling or trading when they come through town.
You bet he's been coming here.
I'm sure.
So there's
Come here.
there's a
I've been going for
possibility that Tam knows something about this area. His brother and so Tam got taken by the bandits. Jax followed his brother because he saw his brother taken by the bandits and was trying to help. So this entire time that the bandits came through this tunnel system with Tam in tow, he was following along, trying to hide and trying to stay away. He got caught by 3 bandits just outside of the area we're at right now. The Scrabble marks that you saw earlier where somebody tried to go down under the wall, that was them forcing Jax to try to climb down on his belly into the building. And his brother the entire time insisted, no, there's an easier way in. I know how to get in. Don't worry about it. I think there's a better way to do this. But they insisted on forcing the boy to try to climb under the rocks. After he was unable to, and he looks kind of distraught by this, after he was unable to, they brought him in, and they basically left him alone in this crypt area and said, if he didn't bring something back, he better not come back. And they had his brother, so he felt like he had to perform. The 3 bandits, he says that there are 2 men and 1 woman, and they all seem very mean. They're all armed, and it sounds like a variety of swords and axes, but maybe one of them has a bow as well. So that's a prosperous 30 minutes for you.
All right. And do you know where they might have gone?
I know they went farther down, but I don't know where they went. I don't know.
Deeper into this cave?
I mean, yeah, like to the right, but I didn't see where they went with Tam, and they said that if I didn't bring something back, I better not show my face, so they were going to kill him.
So where do they expect you to return to?
He's
Okay.
I don't think they didn't tell me.
I don't think they want him back.
Okay. All right. Well, you stay here. Be fine. Look at your brother
All right.
and take you both back to your village.
Okay.
And maybe give your big brother a lesson in not wandering off and crawling around caves.
Oh, I hope you learned that lesson, because it's really scary down here.
Are we ready?
I think so. Let's
go.
go wander off and explore this cave.
All right, let's move this down just a little bit, because I got to put one more map up here. So, we've got this whole left-hand side we haven't even gone into, and then you've got this right-hand side.
Let's
This is
hit to the
relatively,
right.
of course.
So let's go to the right.
Okay.
Right?
How are you doing this?
Probably the same pattern.
Same thing, yeah. 'Cause
I imagine the light spell is still on for a little bit.
what's a cantrip? You can drop it and then start
No,
kick it
okay.
back up again.
Yeah, if you really want the light spell to be gone, I mean, it does have an hour, so you've got a few more minutes here, but if you
Okay.
want it gone, you can always have it gone.
Okay.
So, we've got those stone walls. Remember, these are solid walls.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I know, I can only do so much with the pre-built map. As much as I love the map, were you going out that way? So we were talking about
Well-
going further in this way.
Oh, that is an opening there.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
not
so
good.
so this
Right.
is solid wall here.
This is solid wall here.
Okay, and then
This
that's
is
the
okay. Yeah, you got those two
There's two
corners.
openings.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
fairly symmetrical.
Looks like a small. Oh yeah, go that way then. If the boy said that way, we'll go that way. So and there's light. The torches.
There is
that we
light,
see? Okay.
especially right here. These side passages, you see some dim light kind of over here,
Mhm.
but this area is pretty well lit up. And as you're starting to come around this way, you actually hear sounds like people talking.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, you hear very faintly someone say, "Have you got it yet? Come on!" That was loud enough you were able to hear it easily.
Okay.
I'm dispelling my light spell at this point.
Yeah, and the good thing is at this point you can see fairly comfortably.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stealth up to there
Mhm.
and peek around the corner.
Okay, go ahead and peek around the corner.
Mhm.
Now, is your goal to be not seen? Are you going to
Yeah,
try to be?
my
Okay,
goal is
go
to
ahead and
be
make that stealth check.
37.
7. Awesome. So you stealth up to the corner. You're looking around the corner, trying to check out what's going on. All right, so we're going to do a little refactor here. Probably the final one of the night.
Oh, here it is.
So, you see, here in the center of this room, not too far on, there's a man who is dressed in like really tattered, almost like animal clothes, like beast leathers. Like he has a pelt slung over his back, and he's basically wearing like a loincloth.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing this guy has on him is a sword. He has a gigantic two-handed sword that he kind of wears slung across his waist, really long and low, kind of Highlander style. And he is threatening and intimidating a boy who's much farther along here, checking out what looks to be another one of these stone sarcophagi, but much larger. There's a boy who is trying very hard to like push and lift and move the corner of this giant sarcophagus all by himself, as this much larger man is basically, you know, like yelling and throwing rocks at him and so forth. We're not going to use the backside of this. So we're just going to keep that solid stone over there.
And that's the only guy I see.
That's the only guy you see.
Yeah, I'll go like that, but go.
Okay. I'm going to try to be stealthy.
Excellent. So now we get to see how disadvantage works in gameplay. So you're rolling 2d20s. So you're
Okay.
taking the lowest.
When I do that, though, I will have my crossbow. ready.
Okay. So you were ready to shoot something, and you're right here. Okay.
Wow! Oh, wow.
That is not how disadvantage is supposed to work.
Natural 20 or an 18.
It would have been great to get that natural 20. You
Man.
only get 18.
Only.
The amazing thing is when you motion at Corporal Bly, you're not really paying attention, and you're really focused on this guy, making sure he doesn't turn
Feel my
around.
hot breath. Back to your
Very suddenly behind you, and he's right there. And it's amazing, frankly.
Okay. And so nothing else has happened yet.
Nothing else has happened yet.
I'm going in.
Do you just walk
Okay,
out?
I've got an intelligence of 9. You got to talk me out of this.
Just wait. Just wait. Here's the thing. We don't know. There's 3 of these people. I only see one. We don't know where the other 2 are. If you're going to do this well. Let me shoot first.
I think whispering is going to be our new weakness in this show.
Yeah, sure. Let me shoot first. Okay? And then maybe you run in afterwards. After I at least take a shot.
Okay.
Right? Or maybe you start running in, and then as you're running in, I'll take a shot.
I like
Either
that.
way. Let's do that. Want to do that?
Let's do that.
Okay, but we don't know where everyone else is, so we have to be really careful here. And we don't want the boy to get hurt.
Okay. Let me try. I'm going to try and distract him.
Okay. How are you going to try to distract him?
I am going to walk in through the entrance there and
Yeah.
use an intimidate check
Oh, there you
and chastise him for using a young boy and how brave he must feel to be standing 20 feet away as a young boy does his work.
Let's go ahead and play this. Don't worry about the die yet. Let's hear what you're saying here.
You!
And he turns around, and this man has this long, dirty beard, and he's basically just wet and sweaty and dirty all over his body.
Using a young boy to do your work. You're brave, aren't you? You're so brave.
He's just kind of scowling and grimacing at you.
Who do you think you are? You are so weak. I'm going to come over there and I'm going to bash you over the head with this because you are so weak. You don't deserve to live. You scum. Lay down your sword. In fact, kick it over to me.
All right,
I'll take it.
let's see that intimidate check. That's
Yeah,
great.
I'm not
loving
good.
that. Loving that.
Nice.
Hiding it with the book. That's
Natural one.
Excellent.
Hey, you!
You know what? Everything goes great. You know you have captured exactly what you're trying to tell this person, but the problem is he loves it. He is into it. And he's just kind of like pulling at his beard. And he's like grabbing this beast pelt. Everybody's going to see my stomach. This is awesome. And he grabs his sword and he starts running forward in a rage. That's fine. Go ahead and shoot him. Let's roll initiative. Excellent. Yeah.
16.
Less excellent if you're going to roll the same thing I do.
13.
All right. Okay, so you're up first. Not by much.
I'll shoot. 18.
18. Okay, you're going to hit him.
Nice. Let's see here. Ooh. That is 11.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. You shoot him, and the bolt goes straight into his chest, opposite his heart, and it hits. And it does not seem like it is doing as much as it should, because this guy just keeps coming forward. He's got that sword up, and he looks so very angry as he's flying at you here.
Awesome.
Spittle flying, beard flying. Sword is definitely going to hit you. Definitely going to get hit. And, you know, it's a good thing I have 2d6 right here. So, all right. Corporal Bly, you're going to take 10 points of damage. This sword hits you so hard, it almost knocks you to the ground. This crazy maniac, whatever is going on with this man, has cut deep, deep into your chest with this sword. And you feel your life's blood eking out onto the ground.
Yeesh.
Okay, so it's your turn.
Right, so I'm going to cast, what's that called? Cure Wounds.
Cure
There we go.
Wounds.
I think that's a good idea.
You're going to go cure wounds on yourself.
Cure Wounds on myself.
All right. Now, I don't
Yeah,
know
you
if
both
casting
can
a spell while you're in melee range with somebody provokes an attack of opportunity.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
find out.
might
That's
disengage
definitely-
or if I can.
All right, where's our spell casting? All right, let's just make sure that our reaction's here. I am so close to knowing what I'm doing right here. Okay. No, because we're not playing 3.5. You are okay. You're not going to take an attack of opportunity for casting a spell in melee combat.
Okay, thank the Lord.
Well, it's a good thing that you are a life cleric.
Yes, so I got 8 back.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
you got 8 hit points back. Remember, that is one of your 2 first level spells today, so make sure you mark that off. Are you going to take a move? You can take a 5-foot step back without provoking an attack of opportunity.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. So the madman with the sword is just shaking his head back and forth. But he's bringing it back around. He's ready for round 2 here as we go into the top of the initiative with Sean. Okay, Theophractus is going to be taking another shot here.
Praxis.
Praxis.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe go right here. Just take a step back first. Pull back a little bit.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'm going to shoot him.
All right. Let's shoot him.
I'm not going to shoot him. Goes wild. Yeah, that's a miss.
Yes, that is a miss. Okay, so you shoot at him, and I mean, again, it just grazes off his arm. He is so hopped up, he doesn't even notice, and he's just swinging this sword around back and forth over his head. He charges forward another 5 feet. He's swinging again, and what is your armor class?
18.
It's insane, luckily, because when he swings, and you bring your shield up, bam, and you just knock that blade aside. Last minute, you were sure it was going to hit, and it did not.
Cool.
But you're right there in melee combat with it.
My turn.
Yes.
11.
11. He is really surprisingly fast and ready to defend himself. You swing your mace, and he takes that handle of the sword and kind of knocks it around his head again, and it's just enough to stop you from striking back at him. This guy's kind of dangerous, apparently.
All right. My best bet is the
crossbow still.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right.
Yeah. Can I flank him and get some kind of benefit to?
For where you're at right now, well, he's engaged, so unless you're doing something else in melee, I don't know what you're going to do that's really going to gain an advantage. You want to try to take a move around here and shoot at him from the side? You think he'd be
That
more
would
exposed?
help. Sure. Yeah.
All right, I'll let you roll advantage for that.
Ooh. 23.
Nice. Yeah, he's definitely engaging with Corporal Bly and not you. So he's not paying attention to this shot that's coming through right at his exposed side.
Not as good. That's a 6.
6, and the arrow, boom, the bolt kind of goes into his side. And he looks a little bit upset by this, like he's starting to kind of like crumple down a little
Feeling
bit.
like a pincushion, are you?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. All right, so we're continuing
shut
on
that
here. Yep. Excellent. What you guys did not expect is over here, as our young boy all of a sudden throws his rock.
Yes.
I figure there is very little chance this happening, but apparently he heard this,
Miracle
he was
rock.
worried, falls well short. Throws his rock, as this little 9-year-old boy throws this rock,
Lands
and
with
just kind of like trickles around on the ground. It doesn't hit the barbarian, but it does distract him for just that moment.
that. And I will shout, "Good try, lad. Keep up your shield."
Yeah, good stuff. Okay. It's going to be brutal. All right. Got to keep him on the table. All right. You are down. Corporal Bly, you've been hit hard enough that he has sent you down to the floor with his sword. And you are prone. 0 hit points. Now, the way this works for 5th edition is when you get to 0 hit points, you are at 0 hit points. If somebody hits you again, you're going to fail a death saving throw automatically. When it is your turn, which is about to be, you have to make a death saving throw.
Okay.
If you fail 3, you are dead.
Okay.
So, it's your turn to make a death saving throw.
All right. Natural 20.
Oh my god. All right.
What happened?
You now have 1 hit point. And I believe you get to conclude your turn. I actually have never seen somebody do that before.
A natural 20.
I've read it, but it's okay. Death saving throw. I do believe you get to complete a turn at this point, or at least movement. What the heck?
That'd be great.
What the heck are you doing over there, Will?
I'd like to know.
197.
That's good.
All right, for people who have to look this up in their PHPs, it's page 197. All right, down to 0 hit points. When you roll the natural 20, you regain 1 hit point. That's it.
Yeah.
You are not dead anymore. Okay. Being a blessed servant of Pelor, you have been struck down in battle by a barbarian, this ruffian, uncouth, without any sort of like proper deity, and you cannot, your soul does not let this stand. You feel death coming upon you, and you brush it away, and you regain your life. Just like has happened to you before in service of Pelor. Okay, wow. That was pretty awesome.
That was
actually.
pretty awesome.
All right, so yeah, Theophraxis is up.
All right.
Except I'm Theophractus. By the end of session 4, I'll get that.
That's okay. I probably will too.
Maybe I'll look at it written down.
Do I still get the
I will
advantage?
give
or-
you. You know what? Because of the fact that he is totally expecting you to be dead. Yes.
Awesome. Doesn't matter.
Wow.
15.
That's
so
actually pretty cool.
22.
22. Yeah, you're hitting him.
Yay. All right. Come on. Give it to me.
Ooh.
Yes, 11 again. 11 points of damage.
You've only known Corporal Bly for a short time, but you've really come to appreciate the fact that he has so much sincerity about his action. Seeing him struck down in battle after trying to defend the honor of a young boy, it really makes you upset. Your crossbow bolt goes flying. It hits the barbarian square in the neck, just into the jaw, and it must be one of the weak points, the only weak points on this otherwise powerful man's body, because he gets hit, and he's kind of staggering around like this for a second, and he looks like he just doesn't want to go down. And he's kind of pinwheeling and moving, and he just goes face down on the dirt.
Cool.
And he seems like he's down. The young boy is also rushing up at this point, Jax. Are you okay?
I'll be looking around.
I'm gonna bury the head of my mace into the head of this thing to make sure he's down.
And you just hear that wet squish, and you know that he is not alive.
I forgot the boy's name.
Tam.
Tam.
Yep.
Tam!
And Jax is right here. Tam! And he runs up.
No, I put my arm up real quick to try to stop him.
Okay, and you like grabbed him by the back. And
Yep.
he's like, wait.
Wait, yeah, wait, just wait.
And Tam turns around, and he looks really kind of like upset, frightened by this whole scenario. Jax? And he sees his brother, and he's Tam! And he's like really trying to like fight and move around.
Wait, Jax, wait. Or sorry, wait, Jax, wait.
Pretty much right. It's like you're barely holding on. You're luckily much stronger than him. And now Tam is looking around really frightened.
Where are the others?
I don't know. That was so loud.
So is there walls back there at all?
Yeah, this looks like
It's
it's
all
mostly
walls?
like caved in or wall back here.
Okay.
Let's get you all home.
Yeah, let's get you all out of here.
Come on. I'm gonna use my other
Yeah,
spell on
do
myself.
what you need to do.
Yeah.
Next time we come in potions.
I don't know.
All right. It's, I'm at 11.
So you roll. So that's right. Yeah, you're good, right?
Yeah.
You regained all of your hit points. Blessed be Pelor. All right.
Come on, boy.
And he's like,
I'm gonna be looking around too.
he doesn't. He looks like he doesn't really want to move from where he's at.
What's wrong?
He's like motioning at you, kind of like, come here.
Okay.
Are you guys all going?
Yep.
Okay. What are you doing with Jax?
Jax, stay here.
Next to the dead barbarian.
Sure.
Okay. He's right there.
He's dead.
No, Tam's right there.
Yeah, but we don't know what else is back there. So
Oh man.
just wait. Just be patient. It's all right.
So you're moving up, and he's inching a little bit in.
I'll turn around and kind of point over here, like tell him to go over there, like
All right,
around the
he
corner.
kind of pushes in against this wall. There's more. There's more bandits.
Oh, is that?
That's Tam saying this, mostly to you, because you were close.
That's
to
what your brother said, yes, that there were 2 more.
There's 2 more. They said if I don't get the torque that's in this box, they're going to kill me and they're going to kill him.
Your brother is safe. Now you're safe.
Yeah.
And now we're getting you home.
That man almost killed you. There's 2 more of them.
I am blessed by the god Pelor, and he has sent me to save you and your brother, and we are getting
Hey,
you
what
home.
about me?
You're good too.
Thanks.
Jax all of a sudden starts running up. No! As he is doing this, you can see coming around the corner is this must be the lady that he was talking about. There's a lady standing there. She's wearing this long blue cloak, and underneath that, it looks like fairly primitive clothing. And she has an axe that she was holding low in her hand. But now that the boy has run away, she puts it down kind of casually on the ground and pulls her bow over her shoulder and starts knocking
I
her
will
out.
run out and around the boy.
You're
If I
running
have
out
to.
and around the boy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's
All
go
the
for
while with
initiative
my
again.
crossbow.
Ooh, okay, I'm keeping that.
Okay.
Darn it.
18.
That's 20.
Good, excellent. I'll go
Not,
first.
not a natural 20.
So the lady, she's pulling the bow. It's not like a long bow; it's more like a short bow. But she's pulling it, knocking an arrow, drawing back, and it looks like she's going to point right at you. And then she turns and points at Tam, and looses the arrow.
Oh, damn.
Oh, on the table. That's the rule. That's the rule. And she hits him, and he goes flying back against the sarcophagus. And there's like blood getting onto it, and he looks badly hurt and not at all happy. Oh, and the arrow is like very close to his heart and his chest, and he's laying back on this stone sarcophagus. Oh, and he's just in pain. All right, so you're at 20.
So I'm going to move out and around this way, put myself between the two, and then I'll shoot.
Okay.
Oh, no, she's got... Well, as I'm... Okay, so with this... Yeah, so
Yeah.
I move, what, 25, right?
Yeah,
I was there, so...
that was
one,
good. That
two-
was fine.
Yeah, it's as far as I can go.
Yeah.
So as I'm approaching her, I'll shoot her. Yeah.
Okay.
18.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Awesome. Ooh,
Ooh,
I'm hot tonight, 10.
man, that's not cool.
That's awesome. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not liking it as much as you are because that bolt hits her right. That's just and she looks hurt, and she's like kind of caving in like this.
Yeah.
If you want that boy to live, and she points at Tam. If you want that boy to live, you're gonna lay down your arms and surrender now. Says the lady shot in the chest.
I think not. I'm going to take Tam off of the altar or
Okay.
the sarcophagus
Okay.
and give him immediate medical attention.
Okay, so you're basically pulling him down to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And as your hands are brushing across the sarcophagus, you notice it feels quite warm, and you're bringing him down to the floor.
Got to take care of the arrow first. Stabilize him first. So medicine check.
Okay.
Okay, so 25.
Wow. This is no different than any other battlefield situation you've been in. The arrow is neatly removed. There's bandaging going on. It's quick. This is not a mortal wound, but it is a very serious wound. And luckily he has the best of care. The sarcophagus actually seems to be like humming, like humming like this. And that blood is kind of like working itself down into the stone.
So while that's going on, I'll say, what's your business here?
What's my business here?
Yeah, what's
She's
your business here?
holding the arrow in her chest. What's your business here?
I'm protecting these children from people like you.
That's great. These children are going to be part of how I earn my fortune. So you're going to help me, or else I'm going to kill them both.
I'll shoot her again.
Wow. Okay, that's brutal. That's fine.
I'll
She
say,
sees
"No."
your crossbow leveling, and because she is just a little bit faster in this initiative, she's going to shoot at you.
All right, fair enough.
Here we go. Okay, and you're in it. Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah, that's
14.
yeah, that's above your armor class just naturally. Okay, so you're going to take 6 points of damage.
All right.
As she shoots you with an arrow, and as your crossbow is coming down, she shoots, bam, right into your opposite arm, and it hits right there in the square of your shoulder. Not nearly as close to your heart as she would have liked.
All right. Well, that just doesn't really leave me much choice here. So, let's see here. I want to shoot her.
Yeah.
Then after I shoot her, can I sort of grab the kid by the scruff and pull both of us back over here? as
Yeah,
my
I
moving
think that's a
outside?
reasonable move action since you're only moving 5 feet.
All right, let's do that. I'll do that then. Oh, missed.
Oh, 12.
12, that's close, but it's not enough.
All right, so
okay,
do that.
so you drag him back
Yep,
here.
and now I got my rapier out.
Yes, and now you're going to have cover for when she goes after you again. So that's good. So, okay.
I'll say, she's
split-
coming.
Okay, you've got initiative. What do you want to do?
I'm going to do, I guess, the same thing. I'm going to grab Tam and...
You can kind of try to pull him behind this pillar. There's not a lot of space, but there is some.
yeah,
Or are
can
you
I
trying to
take him
get
to
a-
the wall over there?
You want to go way back here?
Yeah, if there's...
Since you were doing nothing else, yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Take him there, and if I can, in this action, hand him my crossbow and say if she comes.
You're going to give the wounded guy on the floor the crossbow.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's doable. Okay, so back at the top of the initiative. The lady's over here. She's got an arrow drawn. She's like stalking up this way, and she's trying to outmaneuver your position, which is going to take her to about there, so that she can shoot at you.
Okay.
She's going to get a +2, or you're going to have an armor class +2 from the partial cover you have. All right, that does not hit. She shoots with the arrow, and she's sure she's going to get you, but it just goes right off the corner of the stonework.
Cool.
So you found something cool out.
Because it's my rapier, it's finesse.
Yes, yeah,
So
that's
I
a
can use
finesse
my
weapon.
dex.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
All right. So, all right.
So she's right here. She is about 15 feet away from you.
My turn.
Yep.
I kind of push him back over here and then go forward and
Sure, because I'm not giving him a combat
and
round.
stick
Sure.
her with the
Rapier?
rapier
Yeah, let's
using
do
my
this.
dex.
Using your dex. Much better than strength, right?
Yeah.
There seem to be a lot of 4s on that die.
Yeah, I know. 10.
Okay. You go for her with the rapier. Boom, and she's got all this cloak and like heavy fur clothing, and it just passes through. So you just don't catch her anywhere
And
important.
then as my bonus action,
Oh,
I'm gonna
bonus action.
do my second wind.
Second wind. Yes.
So
That's good. We haven't used that too much. Ooh,
Okay.
there you go. Beautiful second wind roll. Okay,
all right.
Corporal Block.
I'm going to continue to take Tam as far away from this humming sarcophagus as I can.
Okay, so you can keep trying to drag him back here if you want, but
Yeah.
you're either getting him closer to the lady or away from the sarcophagus. But yeah, there's something going on there where you feel things happening. There's now kind of like a radiating heat and warmth coming out of that area.
I will, while this is going on, I will say to her, what profit is there in killing these children, these kids?
I just want the gold. And now that you guys are in melee range, she is actually stepping back just a little bit so that she can try to fire this bow at you again. And I'm going to borrow one of these from you guys. There's got to be one here. Okay, she's at disadvantage. All right,
Nice.
excellent. That's exactly what you guys want to see, right? So she goes to fire the bow, and she just snaps back on the string. The arrow kind of twiddles out of her fingers and falls down on the ground. She looks really upset with it. She moves back just a little bit farther. You're up.
So I'll stalk towards her. You're willing to kill kids for a handful of gold.
I'm going to kill kids for just a pocket full of change. It doesn't matter to me. They're not my kids.
I'll stick her.
Right?
Damn it. 13.
13. Okay, you're much better with the bow, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So,
apparently.
yeah, it's just shy. So you're hitting at her and you're just not achieving anything.
All right. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Bly.
Tam, can you run?
He starts trying to stand up. He's got the movement to stand up, and he's kind of like leaning on you a little bit as he does it. Yeah, I could probably run.
Okay, go join your brother.
And he takes this like half loping run. I'm gonna get him about there this round.
Ick.
If I can do anything else in this, I'll try to accompany him halfway there or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
that's, you know what? Sacred Flame.
Yeah, you can Sacred Flame.
Okay.
So you've got the range. Basically, she has to make a dex save against your spell. So what is your spell that she's hitting against? What's the DC?
The DC is 14.
14. So she has to roll above or at the DC. Okay. You shoot
Burn
a
with
gout
his
of,
light, evil.
and you shoot that gout of flame, and miraculously, she just beats it off and moves out of the way just enough to avoid being struck with the flame. Very close, very close. But it's a cantrip. You can use it whenever you want, so that's always a nice thing for a spell. Okay, beginning of the round. She's got the bow. She's moving back again just a little bit. She takes the arrow. She's firing. We're going to give her... I still think it's a little close. So she does hit just barely at you. Ooh, for 7 points of damage. She shoots you with that arrow. She may be close, but that just makes it easier for her to shoot directly at your chest.
And I'll say, little help up here.
Yep. And then you see her eyes cut over to the left. That's all right.
Cut over to the wait.
To the left.
That way. Okay.
Yeah.
My turn.
Your turn.
Jeez. All right. I'm going to assume there's somebody over there, so I'm going to pull back over this way
Yep.
and switch out to crossbow instead
Okay.
and shoot it right away.
All right. Let's get that shot. See,
There
you
you
are
go.
so much better with ranged
I am so
weapons.
much-
I don't even know why you're stabbing.
Yeah, 19. That hits.
19. Yeah.
All right, come on.
9.
9. And she was looking to the left, and boom, right to the center of the chest. Ah, she falls back, and she's kind of crumpling down. She does not look well. She is prone, possibly dead. You can't tell from this.
And I'll
range.
shout. I think the third one's coming.
Start making my way that direction then.
Okay. So you want to go full move all the way up here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tam is like very slowly moving over this way. He's gotten about there. And his brother is running out to meet him. He's not stopping. But at this time, you notice that again, there's like a shaking. The ground's moving just a little bit. This sarcophagus lid starts sliding, and it's like popping open at this point. Boom, like this. And you see a hand, and it's like a skeletal hand, but it's wearing like a mailed gauntlet, and there's like an elbow piece of armor as well, and like what looks like it was once like a rich green cloak that's like reaching up out of this coffin.
Do I see that?
Yeah, it's an eye catcher. Everybody sees that. Okay.
Theophaxis,
That's
take these children and run. No matter what's in that hallway, you take them and run. I'll bring up the rear.
you sure?
Go.
But
Go!
kids, quick!
Quick isn't really where they're going right now. You've got Jax, who's like helping Tam carry up this way. He's like, his older brother is like leaning on him, and he's pushing up as hard as he can. They're between the two of them making okay speed,
Okay.
like about in line with what you can do, but you're still going kind of slow with them.
Okay. I'm coming around the corner with my
Uh-huh.
crossbow out. I'm gonna have them wait back here.
All right, that's fine.
What's going on?
There's that hooded man who's standing there. He's got a sword drawn. He's looking at you, putting like this, and you see his hand starts glowing green. He does not look like a happy camper.
Well, okay.
It's over there, actually.
I guess I'll have to shoot him too now.
Yeah, and it's up to you.
We just want the kids to get out of here.
You tell me, man.
That's what I'm telling him.
Okay. That's what you're telling.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
that's
telling
what
that
you're
guy.
telling him.
We just want the kids to get out of here.
That finger is like getting more green in his hand, starting to like pulsate. With
And there's
energy
something
here.
crawling out of that coffin behind us. We can either fight and kill each other now, or be killed by that thing coming out of the coffin.
And you can feel the ground kind of like booming, and you can hear the stone sliding a little bit. And he's looking around, throws his hand to the side, looks at you all, and runs. And he runs straight this way.
Okay.
We're
So
gonna follow.
Yeah.
You guys are following. By the time you get here, you see like the back of this guy.
Yeah.
So you guys are quite a bit slower. What are you doing in the room?
I'm following behind
You're
them.
retreating?
I'm sticking around for
You
this.
get about 5 seconds of some sort of like hulking, like almost mummified warrior coming out of the crypt. He has like these stringy beard ends that have like grown out beyond his jaw, and you can see he's got this super skeletal visage with everything pulled back, but pale points of light where his eyes are. And he was apparently buried with his sword, because he still has it. And as he's raising up and like pulling himself out of its crypt, silently but really menacingly, he's got the sword and he draws it. And you can just hear that steel sliding from here. And he's moving out of the crypt, just coming so slowly at you.
If I could, I would. Actually, I could do Sacred Flame.
You can try a Sacred Flame, that's for sure. And you know what the best thing is? You don't even have to roll anything. I do all the rolling. And, okay, he doesn't move at all when you cast Flame at him. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay.
It's a D8. Here we go.
5.
5. And the flame goes, and he's lit on fire, and he seems totally unmoved by it. And he just starts walking slowly towards you, and he's on fire now, and his like cloak is burning, and all of these little tattered remnants of cloth are burning off of his body. Bump. Yeah. At this point, basically, it's the world's slowest race on his part. Are you retreating or are you going to
Oh
keep
yeah, I'm retreating. We're out.
going? All right.
I'm there. There's no way.
All right. So you basically go. In fact, you know what? We're going to keep that there. Because as you get to about here, he's sped up a little bit, and he's not going towards you. He's going towards the lady on the ground. You
Oh,
guys keep going?
I say wait. I gotta see this.
Are you really waiting?
You mad?
You guys go.
No.
I want to see this.
He starts bending down and like picks her up bodily into the air. And as he picks her up, you hear this. And there's just like wet chewing and bone breaking. He's just like devouring this lady.
Yeah. Time to go. Time
Piece
to go.
by piece. And
Time to go. Time to go. Let's go.
we'll stop the show there. All right, this guy's gone.
Yeah, we're gonna leave.
Yep,
Get out of there.
you guys run. Okay, are you going straight back towards the town? Or are you leaving the caverns, going back the same way you came?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go back the same way we came. Do you want to stay? Do we want to stay to see what happens if this thing comes out of the cave or not?
I will.
And I'm not saying do you want to. I mean, like together. Should we stay?
Tam.
Okay, Tam is like, he looks so pale and he's really sweating by this point. And you're thinking that he probably has overexerted himself from moving around with this fresh arrow wound in his chest. He looks like he's probably about to go into shock.
We can't leave them.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go. We'll just leave.
Yeah, just leave.
Yeah.
And the overland travel is very difficult because basically you have to half carry this 15-year-old the entire way back. But he's, I mean, you guys can handle it, but it's
I'll carry
not
him.
fast. Yeah, you're actually able to support a lot of his weight. You know, mass-wise, it's a different story. It's just very difficult. But he's just like leaning on you, and his brother's trying to help him up and like hold his arm up too. And then you've got kind of Corporal Blind kind of out in the front, like just looking around on all sides for danger. And you're able to make it all the way back to the village without further incident.
And I want to go straight to the village, the head of the village.
What time is it?
Yeah, what time is it?
It's fairly late by this point.
It
You know,
is
it was about a
nighttime now?
4-hour walk back, but because of the fact that you were carrying this boy, it became more like a 6-hour walk.
Mhm.
So we're now into the point of it being like supper time. It's like
Yeah.
past night. Everybody's kind of turned in. They're farmers, so they go to bed fairly early. So, and you're able to bring him back to like the headsman of the village. He's got the slightly largerest hut in the village, and it's the place where people would come to be received. Where there's like a like a hall
perfect,
room, and then he has like a bedroom and some like simple kitchen area. So, and when you guys come back, he's openly weeping. He just looks so grateful. He's got his hands up and he's bowing and prostrating his head. It's just,
Until he finds out. Where.
Save that for later.
I can't believe you brought the boys back. They're such bad boys. They do, and he starts hitting.
No.
And he's like, they're such bad boys.
These boys did nothing wrong.
But they cause so much trouble to our village. Our village.
Well, there's more
we
trouble
can't
on the way.
Draw attention.
You blame all of your troubles on boys? Is there no bravery to be found here?
We have got to.
You
work with
have
people's
bigger.
skills.
That's one of the bigger things you have to do. Bravery is easy when you have weapons and armor. We have crops.
You have arms. You have breath. You have pitchforks. You're going to need them.
You will need them.
Are there more bandits coming?
We don't know.
Not
We
really
don't
sure
know.
what it is.
Something
actually.
happened inside the cave, and you need to prepare your villagers. You need to prepare your people.
All right. For
Something has come back, long buried.
his eyebrows, they're wide, up high, and he looks really scared. Like a spirit.
Like a creature of bone has come crawling back from whatever hell it has been trapped in.
Sort of undead warrior.
Like our ancestors have become unpleased with the way we live our lives.
Sure.
And
Your heretical ancestors have become unpleased.
they return. They're going to
Bring it down.
like they're going to punish us.
Gather your villagers.
And he's wringing his head. This is like the worst thing.
I understand. I understand. But you have to set the defense here. If this thing comes back, if it finds its way here, you have to protect yourselves.
Persuasion?
No, you've pretty much crushed his spirit. Okay. It's fairly clear to him
You
that
mean
his life has been poorly lived. He's realized that now. The thing he did wrong was existing. So he's very upset. This is a man who's in charge of this small village of like 14, 15 people and keeping them alive.
Yikes.
And it is now clear to him that he has failed in all of his duties. And at this point, he begins the call to like rally villagers, and he's trying to take your instructions on how to like create a barricade by moving like plows and equipment out into the streets, and he has no idea what to do whatsoever. But the excellent thing about this episode 0 is this is also going to be where we end it, as this poor headsman of the village is like looking around, like hands up at the gods in the sky, you know, as he knows his ancestors are thoroughly disappointed at him. And guys, we're seriously going to stop there in terms of gameplay, but yeah, good job.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so Will, you have never played a cleric before.
Lots of fun.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I think I found my calling.
You would do it again. Well,
Yes.
I mean, you managed to roll a natural 20 pretty quickly. In there, so that's good. I don't think I've ever seen you roll fewer ones in your life. So
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah, this was a first for a lot of things tonight.
Yeah. Okay, Sean, are you feeling like your fighter is on his way to gunslinging?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's gonna
That
be some-
archery thing was a good thing to take.
That was a good thing to take. Are you feeling
makes
like there's going to be some crafting taking place in this village tonight?
Oh yeah, of course.
Maybe some like last minute, like putting together a workshop in the blacksmith's area or something like that.
Yeah, I'll
So-
try to do something. Yeah.
Something cool. We need like a montage here of you putting together some sort of like contraption that spits fire or something like that. All right. So, I mean, some of the things I liked about tonight. First off, I really like using these Arcanite maps. I figure, like, for me, I am a trained DM. I really do like to like make pieces and put them on the board. But if you were not somebody who has a lot of time to like mess around with terrain, these maps are super cool. And I've gotten fingerprints all over this, and it still looks really nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like you could like mark on this or do whatever else you like. And I like the flat plastic miniatures. One of the things the guy from Arcanite told us is that all of them look unique. So you may get 5 skeletons, but at least they all look like 5 different skeletons. They don't look like 5 of the same guy. And I hate that about some of those pawns out there. Because, you know, I mean, what's the point in having all the same dude over and over again?
Yeah, that's sorry about the
No, this is
the
good.
doorbell, but it was my shipment of Critical Role swag, so
Nice.
it was kind of important. It was left in the wrong mailbox, and
That
my
is-
neighbor brought it to me.
That
so
is kind of important.
it's pretty dope.
All right. Well, we're still streaming here, right?
Yeah.
You want to come out here and see how things have been going on your side? You got anything to add?
Oh, actually,
Okay, Scooter.
yeah,
Come on down, man.
all right, yeah.
Excellent.
No, we're gonna get the quality better. That's for sure. These guys are great, putting up with me trying to sneak around the microphones and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna do more of this. I think we've confirmed we'll probably do a session 0.1.
Yeah, we've got the
Couple
other
more
2
players.
players we've got to do the same thing with.
That'd be rad. So, yeah. Other than that, I thought it was fun. I was laughing back there. There was some good stuff. So
Yeah, those were the ones, right?
It's always the one.
the ones were great.
Yeah.
The speech was amazing, and then Will the one. And I was like, yeah, great
okay.
follow.
It's
That was
okay.
awesome, though.
The barbarian loved it.
That's
it
why
was
it was
just what
great.
he needed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if I got anything but that. We'll keep doing it. I'll leave it to Hans here, but my biggest thing is you can always make time to tabletop.
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's good.
So yeah, we'll leave it to these guys, and
And
I'll
we
get
do
me on
make-
the computer.
It's a good point. We do have to make time to tabletop
Yes.
because it's not like these games just happen on their own. But I got to admit, it's not that bad doing something like this. If you ever want to do a stream or play a game of D&D, all you need is certain people. If you can't find actual physical people, which, by the way, if you're in the Sacramento area, we have a meetup where that's what we do. Is we find people that want to play D&D. D&D and RPGs in Sacramento, right?
And hit us up if
us
on our channel and stuff, and tell us what sucked and what was good,
yes.
so we can kind of figure it out as we go.
There's
Because
probably some
it's all about community. So
Yeah,
Whispering.
definitely.
We'll
Thank
work on
you.
the whispering.
Work on the whispering. That would be good.
It wasn't so bad. It
Really?
wasn't as bad as you think.
Cool. Well, see, we really can't appreciate it until we go back and watch the video.
it,
Let's see what else. So we talked about the meetup, which is one way to find people. I mean, another thing that's really popular if you want to find people to play D&D, get on Roll20. There are tons of people who just play online because they don't know enough people who are physical people. I really don't know that many people who are physical people until I've tried for it. I did want to hit up a couple people on Twitter who have been super supportive. First off, Chris Perkins actually got back to us right away asking, hey, what do you think of this? And that was awesome. I mean, that really made me feel very good yesterday. Video Store Cowboy is a guy who has been tweeting like crazy to give me advice on this game. And we already talked about Sean. Everybody knows about Sean. He's on here too. Stephen Lumpkin, Adam Koibel both got on here. They both had stuff to say. And Robert Booth, who is Null Wolf. All you guys really appreciate it. From yesterday where I got the idea I would tweet at somebody to today, lots of support for first time streaming.
Yeah,
so that's super
awesome.
cool. Okay, wrapping up. People I got to thank. Scooter, because seriously, we just kind of threw this at him. Scooter's wife, because she let us do this. That's really awesome. My wife, because she let us do this. That's awesome. Hi, kids.
And
I think
everybody's wife and kids.
yeah, seriously, everybody's wife and kids. But I'm going to do my shout outs and then everybody else will do their. So if you forget, it's on you. And I think that is enough shouting out for me. Thanks, everybody. Sean,
Well, I'd like to thank my wife and my kids.
good show.
And everyone who's getting together to play.
It's good, man.
Come on,
Good,
man.
good.
What's wrong with you guys?
We'll get better equipment. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they can smell me over the camera, so they won't know what's going on.
This is stuff we just found in our boxes,
Pretty much,
pulled out.
except the microphone. That's
You know,
all.
microphone's the only thing that actually is
The microphone's got some class, man.
stream ready. That's right.
Any shouts?
Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for this. I've had a lot of fun tonight. This was
Yeah,
this was a really good thing.
And
Shout out
so
to Hans.
Hey, thanks,
Yeah.
guys. I'm really glad to have you guys both here. It's
Thank-
like playing D&D back in the day, but we're at Scooter's house instead.
Yeah.
And also there's people on Twitch, so that's cool. I mean, assuming there's people on Twitch. So,
We have a few people watching.
yeah, which is awesome. I mean,
Hi, people.
to be honest, we're doing this because we love this and we want to keep doing it, and hopefully we encourage other people to do it too.
Yeah,
We encourage other people to tabletop. Let's see.
definitely.
Do we have other stuff we want to talk about? Okay, so we have no idea what we're going to do with session 0.1, but that's going to happen. And we're going to get into a session 1, and we're going to be seeing more of each other, and it's going to continue being super awesome. And when we get to session 1, you guys will find out what the heck is going on with the Infinity Tower, and how it has anything to do with these poor villagers that are about to get eaten alive because of the things that these guys did. Yeah, I mean, you can't really be directly responsible, but
Yeah,
they
it's the
probably
kid's
wouldn't know
fault.
that.
He did it.
I mean, technically, the lady who shot him with the arrow, maybe, I don't know. But
That dumbass was the one who decided to bleed all over the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
what the heck?
well, if there's something you learn watching
Stop
movies,
bleeding.
it's never bleed.
What's wrong
on
with you?
anything old.
That's true.
Yeah. That never goes well in any movie. So, yeah,
How dare
Okay.
you bleed?
Yeah,
right.
what a jerk. It's
He
his
is-
fault.
He is only 15 years old. He's not even reached age of majority yet, so you can't really blame him for bleeding on each
Can't hold him illegally
He doesn't even have a
responsible.
class level yet. Come on, man. Come on. Okay, so I think at this point, Scooter, I mean, what do you think? Are we wrapping? We're good?
Yeah, we're wrapping. We're gonna have more content. This is the beginning of many
Yeah.
other things. I don't know if they can hear me, but
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of ideas
Pretty
we
sure.
want to use on the stream. Some stuff just dealing with encounters, which is kind of what this was. And also just, we want to stream some stuff. There may be more channels and more, not channels, more shows coming up.
make time to take that.
Make time to tabletop.
All right.
Was that click us being out?